11:20. What's good, man? DJ Rock, B More. What's up, man? What's good with you? Let the people get up in the building, man. What's up, Willie? Yo, what's good, man? Go ahead and get this thing started, man. It up. Miss Tiffany is in the building. What's good? Nah, I don't even kill nobody. I like this joint on fire. You know how we do. What's up, Mika? What it do, man? All right. Y'all know reading is fundamental, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just hoping, man, I can continue to give you all the skills to kind of, just combat the misinformation is all around you. Misinformation is everywhere. Yeah. All around you. We want to be able to deal with the information, and everybody said they got the information. We're going to talk about that. Why everybody got the information? Why everybody think they got the information? Why is that? We're going to find out, right? Let's have that real talk, man. Get together, man. You know what I mean? Man, y'all got to go ahead, man, and hit the Ab Juice store, too, man. We got some nice products, man. Nice hoodies, man. You know the real nice hoodies, man. All right. Get them in the summertime. They cheaper, right? Then we got the shirts. No religion shirts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's that real soft, thin, right? Good. Mm-hmm. Got the no religion shirts. How we do it. Nice material. They fit real good for all the brothers, you know what I'm saying? Nice fit for the sisters. Man, y'all come on in, man. Let's have this good conversation. Yeah. Got 18,000 in the building, man. You know, we wait for about 30 to get up in here. Keenan Wright, what's good? What it do? What it do? Y'all know I'm gonna be in Cleveland. Not next week, we got the next. All right. Shout out to my Cleveland people. Gonna be in the building, man. If you out there, man, holler at me. Yeah. Holler at me. You know, get the grease cooking a little bit, man. We had this nice conversation. You always know it's about growth. It's always about developing the African mind, man, and to be very specific, the African American mind. Proud to be an African American. I don't care what y'all say. Good space to be in and know who you are, where you came from, and how you got here, right? And to celebrate that. Yeah, for too long, man, we've been trying to Stone Age it. The Stone Age thing, that thing ain't gonna work for you. It's not gonna work. Gotta keep pace, right? I don't think we keep pace with our knowledge. We actually don't. We want the mystical, the super mystical, super spiritual. And that's not gonna keep pace at all. So we want to be able to keep pace, man. Because the new age is upon us. New age. New age of foolery. That's for damn sure. Yeah. And the community is really wrapped up in the new age, man. And it's a damn shame. And really, yeah. We can just start off with Britannica a little bit. It's crazy. Yeah. And I just find it real interesting, man, that we've been trapped. And so, I always wanted to build something that kind of addressed that. And I thought I was doing that. And it kind of faded down the stretch, but thank goodness for the PK, man, the real black atheists, man. We riding hard. We're not gonna stop, man. If you're in the way, you're gonna get ran over because it's a track. You're on a track. And it's a space age train rolling down the track. It's definitely rolling down the track. And we on rails. And all that out the box is nonsense. Right? So I was having a conversation with a friend and was talking about out the box. We had 27, man. Come on, man. Give me that 2 more views in there, man. Hit that like and subscribe, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Always gonna be a good conversation, man. Come on now. Let's get it going. We can't even get the juices flowing until we get 30,000 in the building. What's the use? Ain't no use, is it? Nope. Nope, ain't no use. Nope. Y'all must don't want to hear it. Get it in. Nice weekend. Go live a couple times. No, it's the 4th of July. I mean, my 4th of July. Oh, funny. Oh, man. Hey, I got a good book here, man. Why they reading the Wikipedia articles and posting nonsense on Facebook? I got the material. This is an X-ray atlas of the royal mummies, edited by James E. Harris and Edward F. Winton. Yeah. Hardback joint. Yeah. That's how we doing it. Yeah, got a lot of the mummies X-rayed up. Yeah. And we was kind of talking about that. and figuring out like what was they saying some of these mummies was. I distinctly remember that conversation. We ain't gonna go Egyptian mania too hard today, man. We don't want to do that right now. We don't want to do that. But I just wanted to show you I stay getting that homework. Let's say where we at. Oh, we at 38. Get the 40 and we going. Get the 40 and we going, man. Hey, man, all the moderators in the building, man. Man, make sure y'all share the show, man. We got to get this together, man. We got really push this thing right. Because we all we got, man. I'm telling you, man. They think they want to come up against science, which is crazy to me. I think it's suicide, man. So we're gonna let them play the suicide. They like suicide Power Rangers. We're gonna let them do that. And over here, man, we're gonna keep it, man. We're not believing in the whole God piece. We're not believing in the Stone Age spirituality. We're not doing none of that, man. We're gonna figure out our situation. I see you, Tuck, my yacht. Hey, what's up, dog? Yeah. So, yeah, man. I'm glad Jesus loved me. My mother used to tell me that all the time. No, she ain't tell me that, man. She's like, I'm praying for you. I had the most people praying for me, man. That's why I guess I'm just so damn lucky, right? Yeah, we at that magic number 40, man. We here. At least where I want to be at. So, oh man. Oh man, place. Before we get started. Hold on 1 second. One second. Let me get how's my earphones at, man? 1 second there. All right. So, where we at? Where we at is we're at a point where we just want to really, really stay focused. So, you know, I might act up from time to time, right? And it's reasons why I do what I do. And so if you see me act up, excuse me, all right? Excuse me. But for me, that whole nut Chief X nonsense, man, it's really, it's wild. So you see people debate and argue on the internet and they be right back together. I'm just not that type of individual. Okay, so, you know, I like to apologize to the audience and those who had their families tuned in. I don't need to be, you know, going off like that like I did the other night, but it was definitely warranted. And to keep myself from going off like that, right, the situation got to be right for me. Right? Like I can't have individuals like that around me. I can't have individuals on the panel with me like that. Like that's my choice. And, you know, it is what it is. So I won't be going through that scenario again. It makes no sense for our listening audience to hear me go like that, but I got children watching, and I got girls watching, young adults watching. All right, and for them to see their dad sit with a guy engaged in an intellectual conversation after he can cuss out women on the internet, talk shit, right? It's way below my pay grade. I just can't do it. It's not in me to do it. You know, I think matter of fact, I've always reached a level where I could pick and choose who the fuck I want to be around. And I choose not to be around that coward Chief X. All right, I just choose not to do it. And we should be able to choose our friends. You know, my mother told me, choose your friends wisely, right? Once you figure out a nut, man, you stay away from them. And so, like I said, I got the babies watching. They all got their Apple phones out. They get the button. You know what I'm saying? They hear it. They get the thing on their notification, and they see their dad, right? They hear certain conversations. They hear who the crazy people are. They hear the debate over Egypt. It's funny, ha, 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 right? But when you got individuals putting 30 videos of you talking shit to their dad, like what I look like being comfortable, right, with a person like that, having a conversation about Egypt. Like, why would I, like I'm not made like that. Like what would my son think of me? Now, I don't teach my sons to be tough, right? I just teach them to be exact at like what you want to do and take stances and don't go back on your stances, right? And there's certain behaviors that I refuse to be around, and I'm not. This world is a very big place. There are plenty of platforms for people to be on. You're just not going to be on nothing I'm involved with. And I'm fine with that. And this is the thing that really get me. You got bitch ass niggas in the chat room, right? Like American Dream, trying to egg the situation on. Well, I thought this was PK. I thought this was that. Look, mind your motherfucking business. All y'all that was in the chat trying to start that chatty patty, mind your damn business. One day you might be in a position where somebody wants to watch you and your kids see you and are inspired by you and share that material with their friends. One day you might be in that situation. So until you get in that situation, mind your business, right? So, I understand who I am and why I'm here and why I do what I do, all right? I do it because I love the people and I'm giving back, right? I'm giving back what I feel like I took from the community, all right? And so I'm not hearing that shit like, I'm not letting the person $100 me, $1,000 me. You know what I'm saying? Who I am as a man mean more to me than $100, $1,000. It just mean more to me. All right, you know, I risked my life for that paper in Baltimore, Maryland, right? And that was far. So I teach the babies, don't risk your life for no fucking money. It ain't worth it. It's not. And damn sure, right? Don't shortchange yourself Don't shortchange who you are. That's my message, and I'm clear with that. So for me to be on a platform with an outright disrespectful son of a bitch, right, would be below my pay grade. And it's not that I feel like I'm better than anybody, it's that I get to pick and choose who I want to be around this world. And we all should pick and choose. So the women out there, man, don't let no man force you into a relationship or force you into friendships, right? Don't let no group of people force you into things you're just not going to do. Have enough where you can stand on your own if you need to make the split. See, that's important. That's what I learned. Even when I was in them streets, I always had enough. If something broke down and it wasn't working, I could always have something for myself. My mother taught me that. Mother taught me that. All right. So it's just important, right, for everybody to see examples of people just stand on what it is. You're not going to see me ha-ha and kikiing with certain individuals. I'm not changing that. Right? I see a lot of people do it. I'm just not doing it. You say, well, it's just YouTube. No, you're talking about my name and my credibility. Right now, if certain individuals was to apologize and change that fake line narrative, then the conversation is always there. But what I look like, nigga talk shit, crazy videos all the time about me, line, straight line, absolutely straight line, right? And I'm supposed to be friendly. And nah, y'all can't expect that of me. I have not matured to that. I don't even understand that. And if I'm wrong, I just got to be wrong, right? So as long as I'm rocking, you won't see Chief X popped up on this motherfucker. Now, if other individuals choose to do that, and they think that shit makes some sense to them, then they could do that. But I just know what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. And let this be for everybody. Man, pick and choose your friends wisely, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trusting you got some rats around you. Keep your eyes on the rats, right? I tell the young people all the time, man, sometimes you got to get the fuck out the car, man. You know what I mean? Like situations in life, right? Don't try to be tough, right? Be who you supposed to be. And really, that's the only reason y'all can see me here today. That's the only reason I'm here, man. Because me and my man, shout out, right, to Jace Harris, man. Cody Mo, shout out to him, man. And I'm here today, man, because of brothers like that, man. And we never tried to be tough. That never was our thing. We never tried to be tough. And we was having a conversation and wondering, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did we do the things we did? How did we get in there? Right? Everybody had their parents, right? Everybody had decent houses, like Rogers Avenue, above North Parkway. How did we end up being who we was? Whatever it was, right? We was men of honor and respect. And I expect honor and respect out of anybody that's around me. And when you break that code, and when you do that, then I got a problem. And it ain't got nothing to do with being tough. It's just who I am. It's who I am. And just in life, as everybody go forward, right? Right? Make sure you who you are, because that's all of our best weapon, right? Being who we are, knowing who you are, right? That's how I made it up out of Baltimore, Maryland. Was never trying to be something I'm not. I never was the tough guy, right? Talk shit all the time. Definitely back it up. Could definitely measure my situations, knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, right? Knowing how to be around the right individuals. A leader, right? And I understood who I was, right? Never tried to be in places I wasn't supposed to be. And I think that's just a message for all of us, especially for the kids growing up, man. Look, some of your friends might be gangbangers, man. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? If that's not who you are, then why do that? Right? You know, sometimes taking the path of least resistance, it just don't make sense for you. And so, you know, growing up, you know, we made choices, but the choices wasn't based off of the peer pressure shit. Yeah, it's plenty of things I could have been on. I ain't gonna sit up here and talk about that right now. Maybe I might one day. But there are situations that transpired, and I was like, that ain't what I'm doing. right? And you know your friends, right? When you say that's not what I'm gonna do, and they respect that. That's how you know you got friends. That's how you know you got friends when you say, man, that ain't me. I can't, I'm not. They respect that. They just do. Now, if you got some crabs around you, right? And you say, that's not when I'm you know, I can't go on that mission. And they be like, oh, come on, yo, you scared you can do it. They the ones you keep your eyes on, man. So that's just a little friendly feeling for y'all, man. And this show is for the families. This show is for the babies. This show is for those who have the heart to stand up and say, I just don't believe that shit. I do not believe in that. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you being an African American, not having a particular belief system that you choose, that you want to follow. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think, yo, we make it cool not to believe. You know, they got all the guns pointing at us. And some say they don't believe, but all their actions show they do. And you know, so we're in that spot, man. So I'm just really appreciating all the people that come through, man. Like, you could be anywhere, right? You could be anywhere, but you hear, you know, fucking with the Pseudo Killas, man. Make sure you subscribe to the Pseudo Killas. Make sure you subscribe to the Real Black Atheists, man. Man, do that, right? Do that because it makes sense and the world is all out of whack. So like, I never kind of understood. I understand this generation, my nephews, you know what I'm saying? And some shit going on. I can't even talk about that. But you know what I'm saying? I love them dudes, man. My nephew just left. Jordan, love that nigga, man. JC, love him. And the nephews that play close attention to what the fuck I gotta say, they gonna stay good and be good. The ones that don't, they gotta go through the hard knocks. And it's not that I know everything, it's that I got a good feel for situations. So I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I wouldn't be on the Pseudo Killas if I didn't have a good feel for the people on the Pseudo Killas. I just wouldn't be. And if the situation didn't make sense, then I wouldn't, you know, I just wouldn't do it, right? So for all y'all haters trying to separate and divide, it's not gonna work, man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, your friends are those who fuck with you. So I fuck with who fuck with me. Call it what you want. I'm not shouting out nobody's names no more. I'm not doing none of that because you see what it is, right? What it is I promote people shit hard because I understand the value of teams. But niggas don't do that for me. People, niggas go to is don't fuck with them. And I hear the birds in the air flying around. I hear the tequila mockingbirds. Don't fuck with them. Wow. You never heard me say that. I never make y'all choose on who y'all want to listen to. Don't do it. Because I feel like I'm glad that anybody want to sit around and listen to my motherfucking ass. You know, I'm glad to have that. And I feel like the content is live. Nice mix, got a nice sweet spot, is live. But one thing for sure, man, people are tuned in because they want to be tuned in and they're interested in what you got to talk about. And we mix it and we match it, right? And so y'all got a right to tune in with everybody. So you will never hear me say, don't fuck with this group, don't fuck with that group. But you won't hear me say, go fuck with them. You won't hear me say that. Them days is gone, that ship is sailed. Right? Good content everywhere. Y'all can find it. But I'm glad y'all here. And so the situation I come into this, y'all. This is what I come into when I first come up in this motherfucker, man. Let me see, hold on. Let me show y'all how we come up into the conscious community for real, man. I don't even like the word the conscious community, man. I'm gonna show y'all how we come up into this thing, man. Let me show you how we come in, man. Definitely show you how we come up in here. Show you what I come in on. Yeah, I come up in here. You know what I'm saying, yo? When you going against a whole system, yo, you gotta come in loud, howling, screaming, and kicking down goddamn doors, yo. That's how I came up in this motherfucker, man. Still kicking the day. Still kicking the day. So yeah, we wanna go to the Encyclopedia Britannica and let me see here. I can put this in the chat, man. Hey man, make sure y'all subscribe to the goddamn Bobby Banger channel, man. Y'all bullshit, man. Like, come on, man, hit the button, man. Subscribe to the Bobby Banger channel, man. God damn. Boy, y'all serious? Shout out to brother Kofi, man. I fuck with Kofi. Yeah, I see you. Let me act crazy and look in the chat. We got a guy named, I don't even know this dude. He say beefing with Chief X, making the channel grow. Yeah, I wish that was true. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I like that. Man, I can't even get out the day. All right. So, black at y'all. So let's put this here. Hold on. Put this in here. Yeah, so y'all, I think that's a crab though. But you got a right to freedom of speech there. But yeah, beef with Chief X don't. I mean, it bring a couple of weirdos over here. The fake North Africans act like they North Africans. It bring that crowd over here. Yeah, nonsense. Bring the nonsense over here, right? But nah, my channel been growing. Y'all better ask about me. My shit been there, yo. Trust me. Yeah, you looking at 10 channels later, goddammit. All right. You're looking at the restart, is what you're looking at. I done lost channels with 50,000 motherfucking subscribers. 50,000 here, 30,000 there. That's a fact. So, nah, the beef with the Chief X is the silly shit. I just don't fuck with them. Y'all want me to fuck with them. I don't fuck with them. Now for $100, now for $1,000. Let me get out the chat. Yeah, but shout out to Kofi. I fuck with him. See, I fuck with who fuck with me. That's just, I mean, that's what it is. That's the order of business. We will no longer support individuals who do not support. We will no longer do it. We did this for years. Shout out people's shit and realizing that people at the end, after shit was bubbling, then people start shouting out because it made sense for them and to help they shit. Nah, we ain't doing that. You ain't getting the free. The free is over with. Yeah, free is over with. Yeah, I know you North African, fake North African. You ain't North, get out of here with that shit. What that North African shit? Bunch of nonsense. What that mean? That's the funny part. right? Where now, here's the new game. Here's the game, y'all. Watch the game. Watch the game. This the game. You beat them off of the position, right? So it's a contest, and you beat them off the position, the great northern race. You beat them off that, right? Now you might have overemphasized and went black. Just the black people shit. You went to black people shit, which ain't even a category in the scientific thing, right? But what they did here, though, they did understand you were saying that the continent of Africa, Africans live on the continent of Africa. And you say indigenous Africans, right? And so after you done beat them up, right, they just can't say indigenous Africans and leave it at that. They got to add up shit. Well, they're actually North Africans, which is like that's the game. They're African Americans. Next is gonna be the African American, but that's a certain such African American, and then that's another such African American. That's the African American. That's the game they play. Yeah, it can't just be they're indigenous Africans, coming in all different types, phenotypes, from light skin to dark skin, from blue eyes to brown eyes, from big noses. See, I carry a big nose and thin lips. See. There's more than one way to be African. And we're trying to get the community to get this, right? So the shit play out the way it play out. So let me show you the environment. I already put the link out for the Pseudo Killas if they jumping on, right? I see you in the building, Brennan. What's going on, man? Pseudo Killer official. All right. 85,000 in the building. All right, here you go. So we got encyclopedia, and we're dealing with the New Age. Now, you'll note that the New Age is actually a religious movement. Ain't that funny? You cannot memorize. All right, so here, we got the screen. I'm going to put this in the chat for y'all. Put that in y'all folder. All right. So yeah, it's a New Age movement. Look, New Age movement. Religious movement is actually a religious movement. So those who get out of Christianity and Islam and Judaism, they dove into a new religious movement and didn't even know it. How they do that? So let's see. The New Age movement that spread through the occult. Look, and metaphysical religious communities in the 1970s and 1980s. It looked forward to a new age of love, light, offered foretastes of the coming era through personal transformation and healing. You always hear them about healing, transformation, you know what I'm saying? All of that. The Nile Valley Africans was peaceful, the healing. When you start to hear terms like healing, right? Transformation, the cosmic this and that, right? Yeah, they hit you with the New Age terminology. They're not talking about science. They will use scientific terms to trick you. That's the game. They'll use terms like university, terms like science, terms like the cosmos, but they don't have a scientific backing behind it. New Age, showing you what I came into. They all did it. The black dot, the blue, the red, the Inkies, the Ali Muhammads, the Phil Valentines, all of them was this right here. The Bobby Hemmets, my favorite. This is what it was that they was doing. If I'd have had somebody give me this, right? Then I would have understood. Thank goodness I had it. So when I came in the community, I knew what it was I was dealing with. And I knew I had to be on the opposite side. So for those that are saying, yo, you brand new, why you switching up? I'm not switching up. I'm staying right where I've always been. I'm against this. So Kudu Mutual would be fit safely into this movement right here. All right, so watch the snapshot. Watch how I roll. You're gonna see Malachi York all in this, right? Nation of Islam. Watch. The movement's strongest supporters were the followers of modern esotericism, like esoteric, and with knowledge. It's a religious perspective that is based on the acquisition of the mystical knowledge, right? The knowledge of the sages, you know what I'm saying? The knowledge of the ages, right? All these groups, whether it be the Moors, they practice that. The Nation of Islam, they practice all of this I'm hitting you with, right? What knowledge, and that has been popular in the West since the 2nd century AD, especially the form of Gnosticism. It's an ancient Gnosticism was succeeded by various esoteric movements through the centuries, including Rosicrucianism in the 17th century, Freemason was the theocracy, and the ritual magic in the 19th and 20th century. So they start going magic, going ritual magic, beware. Now, this is not to be confused with traditional African spiritual systems, but you will find people like Kuda Mutwa who's actually mixing and matching. This is what I walked into, slap into it, right? And they call it, listen, y'all, the conscious community. And the conscious community claimed to be black, black, blackly, black, black, but in actuality, it was white, 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 white. And everything was teaching was white. Now watch this. I ain't making this up. In the late 19th century, Helen Blavatsky, right, co-founder of the Theocratical Society, announced the coming of the new age. Y'all heard him say it, the Aquarius, the fish, Pisces, age of Pisces. In 2000, they was talking about the calendar, the Mayan calendar, all this stuff. I've done shows on Blog Talk saying, ain't nothing gonna happen, right? They faked y'all out. But this is everything they talking about. And we got new individuals popping up, and they're younger, kicking that bullshit. It says she believed in the, hold on, let me pull this up. Philosophic, let me see, who embrace, all right, here you go. Hey, watch this. Tell me if I watch this, who embrace Buddhist and Brahmanic notions such as reincarnation, okay? Reincarnation, right? Buddhism, Brahmanic, Brahma, right? That whole Hindu traditions, the reincarnation thing. See, they're embracing, this white lady from Russia, she brings this movement. Watch this. So how much, you don't get no more whiter than the Russians? How is it that the community claiming to be fighting for black people, right, and claiming the one thing is black and promoting quote unquote blackness is in a movement and teaching their people something that clearly came from people, right, who don't look like us? Remember, that's like a running theme in the community. We want people to look just like us. See? Just like us. But Madame Blavatsky, I see now, if Madame Blavatsky was bringing some science, my standpoint would be, man, I like that. That makes sense. I can galvanize around that, right? So it's not the point that she's white, right, or considered white, that would stop me from listening to her. What would stop me from listening to her would be if I'm in a community that's promoting black for black, by black, black, and everything black, 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 which is really an island, which is a concept that you cannot find nowhere in Africa because it literally paints you on a blackly black island surrounded by the whole world and no one to help you. So we know that's not even a real world, meaning the conscious community is based off of the things that aren't even real. They give you things that could never work. And on the Nile Valley, the Egyptians traded with the Nubians and traded with Middle Easterners and just traded, period, and didn't put a color barrier on it because it wouldn't make any sense. Show me an African nation that didn't trade with other human beings. If you to show me an African nation that refused to trade with anybody, I'll show you a group of losers that went extinct early in the game. Even the Masi, my favorite group. I'm talking about the Masis in West Africa. My favorite group is detailed in Chancellor Williams' work. They had far-flung trade with the Christians and the Muslims. They just ain't let them stay and hang out with them. So there is no, so from the start, the Nation of Islam doctrine couldn't work in a world that literally depends on the rest of humanity to do what you got to do. But they play the game as if, yo, we all black. It makes no sense. So the doctrine that's being spewed in the conscious community, it never could work from the start. 1 is pseudo, 2 is pseudo, and 3, it's pseudo. Does not work. False. There is no community that can just be off to the side. Even the Quakers, the Mormons, the Quakers, the Mormons, all these groups that they, although Scientology, right? They still have to interact with everybody else. There is no, we just going to do it. This is not that. It's not the place. It's not the world we live in. So, but the community is based in this. Helen Blavatsky. Blavatsky. It's based in that. A Russian European woman. How stupid can you be? How is it a community dedicated to blackness and the Egyptians is black and the Africans sailed around the world and gave culture to everybody, blackity, black, 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 black. But the very essence of what you're talking about was brought to North America by white women. Veganism brought to America by Europeans. The very people you claim to be your mortal enemies. I just will not understand this. And I just wanted to get this message out today to say, knock it off. Do we got a knock it off button or something here? Because this is definitely a knock it off moment. Man, it's crazy. It's should assist the evolution of the human race and prepare to cooperate with one of the ascended, this is the funny shit, the ascended masses of the great white brotherhood. You got to be kidding me. Let me slow it down. Let me ease y'all into it. Let me show you what's going on right in front of your face. It's right here. It's that secret, sacred information that they hide from Black people in the secret place called the library. It's right here. Let me get this straight. That the order of the New Age movement, the crystal magic, the reincarnation, the all that, this and that, I'm gonna show y'all, is really following what? The ascendant masters of the great white brotherhood. Ain't no way. Whose arrival was imminent. Blavatsky believed that as the world's hidden leaders, members of this mystical brotherhood guided the destiny of the planet. Man, her ideas contributed to, expansion of the New Age amongst the practitioners of spiritualism. This is what they're doing. Dr. Sabi, Layla Africa, all of them, and believers of astrology, numerology, all of this is what the conscious community preaches, and it's really dealing with the ascendant masters of the great white brotherhood. You couldn't make this up. How crazy. You know they hide the information in the secret vault, right? Called the library. There's no way, man. This, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is bananas. Bananas. Then you talk about her successors and all that. I don't read all that. I don't want to get you on to read them shit, but I wanted to give you the birth of the movement in the 70s. Yeah, you know, that's like, you know, after Martin Luther King murdered. All right, this is that time period, man. All right, y'all can get this and read this. You know, they start talking about the new age cycles and all that nonsense. That's it, man. That's what we at. It's no way, bro. Like y'all, like it's no way. Like that's the funniest thing to me, man. I find this to be very interesting, bro. Like I have no idea on why our community. Hold on now, let me see if I can get this out. I didn't do it. So I've been fighting this for the last 10 years. Since 2008, I believe. How long is that? And I've been straight on the path. But this is the environment I came into, a whole bunch of black people hollering, we black, 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 but following the white ascended brotherhood. Ain't no way, bro. And they're still doing it. You can tune in. You can find a lot. I'm on Sarnetta TV, right? Shout out to Sarnetta TV. A lot of people know me from being on Sarnetta TV. Well, you know, that's Sarnetta's fault. No, that's always been Sarnetta's show. From day one when I met the man for the DVDs outside, he's always sold all of the pseudo material. Right? And he's also promoted people like John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben and everybody else. Everybody. Right? So you can't make him responsible. I be having people around me that make him responsible. And I ain't talking about the pseudo killers because their eyes is wide to fuck open. And I ain't talking about your third eye. I'm talking about the eyes that you can see with that lead to your brain so you can make it like we can see. There's no confusion. It's clear. But you'll have people say, don't go over there. It's this, it's that, it's a circus, whatever, while being in the circus. Very confusing to me. You gotta be careful what you say. As you judge, you should be judged. Ain't that what they say? But the brother's always opened up his platform to me from day one, always treated me fair, always paid me the money he's supposed to pay me, never showed me a dime, talk that talk, talk that shit. All right? Intelligent brother, always have been. That's my man. And I ain't letting nobody tell me nothing different. Simple as that. So that type of programming has all of that. It's my job, Pseudo Killas' job, to give you a goddamn what they call a filter, a vaccine. So when you hear this, you already know the difference. Okay, now that's that, boom, boom, boom. And see, if you got that, you can get it to your babies, to your children, right? Get it to your children, you know what I'm saying? Then they ain't running around following some young pseudo. Yeah, you know how fast pseudo-isms rise to prominence, man? It's everywhere. It's in the black community. It is, the conscious community has spewed over to the everyday old black community now. Y'all know that, right? Like on Breakfast Club. You hear Dr. Savy's name. You hear Brother Polite's. So the conscious community is actually spewed over in hip hop. Shout out to Smash Rockwell, Magi Archers, man. It's my man right there, yo. Like and subscribe to his channel immediately. So, yeah, if you is a Vlad interview with Del from Homo sapiens was down with the hieroglyphics clue, right? And they kind of talk about casual. I call him Smash Rockwell, right? And so when people, you know, look up Casual Nango's channel, right, they'll find the right information. They'll find us, right? And I think that's essential because it's spreading everywhere. The pseudo-isms is everywhere. The Breakfast Club, Clarence Thomas, misunderstanding what vaccines are. It's just crazy right now, y'all. And you might not know it, right? People are actually watching what we do. We might be a blip on the goddamn radar, but at least we're there, right? And I always say, man, we ain't got time to fight against each other, at least those that claim to be scientifically literate, but some people just ain't get the memo. So it is what it is. But what I will tell you is, right, that it's in the Black community now. And so it's important for us to be in the Black community. We need to grow outside of the conscious community. And that's what the pseudo killers are doing. That's what real Black atheism is doing, right? If they going hard, we will go triple hard. The pseudo, everybody know about the chakras, everybody know, but they don't know it's actually a movement, right? Waiting for the ascendant white brotherhood. They don't know that though, do they? No, they don't, but y'all know it. Y'all can tell them, say, go to the Encyclopedia Britannica, which is an excellent source, right? And you can find that. Right there for you, right in front of your face. Can't say down, nigga, what you talking about? Let me go to the chat real quick. Go on, I had that. Man, Donnie, damn, Donnie, you talking crazy, you funny guy, Donnie. I'm gonna let you have that though, Donnie. I ain't gonna read that, Donnie, you stupid Donnie. Let you have that, bro. Freedom of speech, but don't get mad if I cut you out though. Don't get mad. Yeah, don't get mad, Donnie Williams, if I do it, but it's just freedom of speech, and I can just decide to just cuss you out. And I ain't gonna do that. Let me stop. Yeah, I said, Donnie, shut up. Hit the link, nigga. Put the link in there, hit the link. Don't talk me to death. Mike Walker, Mongo Slade. Yeah, almost at 100. We need to get that 100, right? So, you know, I've just found it to be, it's just very, very amusing, man. It just is. And, you know, the situation is dire for fighting with science. Like I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me get you together. And this is what's funny to me. This is really funny to me. All right. I want to come here. I want to come to the Wikipedia. All right. We got another little breakdown on it. Sweetenberg, Western Esotericism. Yeah, so here, let me share the screen. Then I'm gonna drop that link that y'all come on and have at it if y'all want to jump on. All right, so yeah, here we go, New Age meditation group, right? So New Age, they always express a lot about meditation. You'll find this all in the Black community now, right? I'm not sure if meditation even have any scientific grounds to it, but I think there's value in being quiet. All right. Look at the way they sitting. Psychedelic, right? It's on the mushrooms. That's Madame Blavatsky right there. Started the Theocratical Society. That's the one. Prominent esoteric thinkers who influenced the New Age. Helen Blavatsky and Carl Jung. You go, Carl Jung, I believe. All right, got your altars right there. Not to be confused with traditional African stuff, right? But you definitely got your altars, different fruit and all that stuff on there. Picture of the goddess, right? So whenever they talk about a lot of the zodiacs, astronomy, astrology, all that's in there. The chakra systems, y'all see this, right? The chakras and all that. That's the New Age, man. That's the game. That's the game. Absolutely. Absolutely, positively. All right, the chakra system. The Stonehenge. All right, they talk about that. Isis, they use the Greek names for the Egyptian deities. All this is in the game. All this is what make the conscious community, y'all. Mark Satan, New Age, included Mark Satan. Benjamin Cream. Getting Money. Marina Williamson. Look the names up. Yeah, it's wild, right? And you know, how did we get in this? Because we didn't know our story. We didn't know it. How did we get into Emmanuel Swedenborg? Let me see. Spiritualism, New Age thought, bureaucracy, UFO religion. A lot of people in the community believe in UFOs. All of them do. I promise you that. Human potential movement, all that. All right. Malachi York used all these techniques right here. Okay. All this, man. Read the article. It's a great article, man. New Age science, right? See, New Age science. The hell is New Age science, y'all? New Age, see, attempts to create a worldview that includes both science and spirituality. Whilst Hess noted how the New Age have, let's see, bringing Italian spirituality, scientific, religious, let me see. All right, so basically, let me see, they basically trying to mix scientific and religious. Although the New Age typically, let me see, rejects rationalism, the scientific method. Yeah, so, okay. So basically, it's showing how they want to talk science, right? But they actually reject the things that help you get to the science. It's crazy. Scientific method, rationalism, and the academic establishment. Okay, they employ terminology and concepts borrowed from science, right? And practically from the New Age physics. So there you go, new physics. So see, that's the point. We can listen for it. That's why I can always hear it, right? It's things like they're the experts. That's part of it, right? Madame Blavatsky was an expert in a lot of different things, so she claimed, right? They're all experts. Bobby Hemmett is an expert. Phil Valentine is an expert, okay? Ali Muhammad is an expert. Farrakhan is an expert. They claim to be experts. They employ terminology. They employ terminology and concepts borrowed from science, particularly from the new physics. Moreover, a number of prominent influences on the New Age, such as David Bohm, I don't know who that is. Look him up. That'd be somebody to look up and read about. Josh Bohm was an American, Brazilian, British scientist who has been described as one of the most significant theoretical physicists of the 20th century. All right, let me see. Backgrounds, professional, had backgrounds as professional scientists. So I'm gonna get into, I don't know how much I'm gonna get into tonight because I don't want to drag it on. Let's go right here. Let's see. Despite the New Age appeal to science, despite the New Age appeals to science, most of the academic and scientific establishments dismiss New Age science as what y'all pseudo-science, or at best, existing in a part of the fringes of genuine scientific research. There you go. There you go. So, I mean, it's all right here for us to get. All right. Right here, right in front of our faces. All there, y'all. It's all here, man. We ain't got to play with this. The question is, how do we get wrapped up into it? Like, how was that made that way? Like, why did that happen? Why did it happen? How did we get to it? I mean, it's just, I mean, you know, and it's real though. That's the part that's just funny. It's real. It's not a stage joke. I'm gonna drop this link in here. Yeah, it ain't no stage joke, man. Let me see. Put that link for y'all, man. Put that link in there. Let's see. That link up in there. One second, man. Yeah, I find it to be very, 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 very interesting. I'm dropping the link, man. Y'all get on the panel, man. We can further our discussion. All right. Keep it going. But that's the environment I came into. Yeah, I got nuts in my inbox hitting me. This is stupid. Yeah, like Q making video like you, stupid. Ignore you, Q. Let me get this to the rest of it. Hold on. All right, boom. Let me drop it in the chat real quick for y'all. Get that in, man. Sup, Reggie Mobley? What's good, man? There y'all go. That's in the chat, man. Moderators, get it out, man. Y'all jump on if y'all want you, man. The widow's calling you the widow, huh? Huh, Reggie? Yeah, there y'all go, man. We reached the part of the show now, man. We're you know, y'all just jump on. This is the part of the show. Y'all jump on. Almost got 100,000 in the building, man. Sure do. Sure do. I want y'all to go ahead and subscribe to the Bobby Banger channel. I only got 198 views. Man, come on, man. I want at least 105, man, by the end of the show, man. Come on, man. Let's see if I can get there, man. Here y'all go. There you go. Bang. Yeah, ain't nothing on there yet, but yeah, there you go. All right, hit that link, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Go ahead, subscribe to the Bobby Banger channel. And I actually put the link in there for anybody want to come on and further the conversation. Yeah, we in the building waiting on that, man. Don't be scared. I ain't gonna bite. Definitely not gonna bite. Yeah, but hit that link though. Thinking that's the link. Read that to be the right one. Hit the link. Link. Mongol Slave say, what really took the cake is when I heard we are all the Egyptians. All of us. Yeah, that's out of pocket. That's way out of line right there. All right. Any more questions in the chat? Let me see. You can chat and comment. On the building. Mm-hmm. What's going on, brother? How you doing? I can see you, but I can't hear you. There you go. You're connected now. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing, man? What's your name, man?
Yo, my name is Mudo. I was born in Africa, but I grew up in America basically my whole life. A lot of you guys' teachings was really instrumental to my growing up as a youth, and it helped me re-rationalize my actual like pathology. You know what I'm saying? Because for a minute, when I had got into the into the information of the conscious community, I wouldn't necessarily say I was a part of the conscious community, even though I live in New York, and you know what I'm saying, like I probably in Harlem or probably in Brooklyn, and I'm with the hood boogers, and I'm also with people in like boardrooms. So like coming across you guys' information was highly instrumental in my growing up, and I just wanted to call in and say thank you, because you guys really helped me bring back like rational skepticism and critical thinking like back into my life, because a lot of the information that came from like the Bobby Hemmett or like Delbert Blair, no shot at those brothers, because they also helped me grow to a degree as well.
Right.
No shot to them, but like a lot of that information was questionable to an inquisitive mind like mine, and it kind of contradicted basic fundamental science that we would learn in school. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from Africa, so like a lot of the like spookisms or I would say like spiritual practices, like I grew up my whole life like seeing it, hearing stories of it, and I guess like the major story, I mean not major story, but major question that I've always wanted to ask you, because I know you're known as the God Killer, and I remember years ago you had came to Harlem with the Amin Ra squad, and I remember yelling like proudly like Amin Ra squad up. You feel me?
Right.
And it was always a good moment to see you guys. But the major question I wanted to ask you was, do you think that it's instrumental to like not necessarily steer our people away from some of the pseudo-isms, but do you think it's more instrumental than detrimental to steer our people away from like some of the spiritual beliefs that they're already inclined to believe? You know what I mean?
That's a great question. And early on in the game, I would say, yeah, steer them away from it, right? But as you know, human behavior, the more you tell a person don't do something, they're gonna do it.
Exactly.
So, right, and once you realize the psychology behind it, and realize just the brain itself is more geared towards believing things anyway. Religion and stuff like that just actually co-opts it, right? So what I've learned over the years is this, right? Just give people science, and that science becomes a vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Right? It becomes a barrier. It becomes a filter. And right, so scientific literacy, right? You don't got to steer them away. Just like the kids, I don't tell my kids what God to believe in, what God not to believe in, what religion not to be in. You know, I've given them scientific literacy, and then they apply it to all situations. So I think it's more important to give them scientific literacy and let a person believe what they're going to believe, but they're not going to get caught up in a cult. Right? And so I don't got to steer you away from African Stone Age religion. I'll just give you the proper scientific literacy, right? And you'll be able to put it in this proper context And you realize that's part of some of the oldest systems on planet Earth that's still live and kicking. And then you'll be able to evaluate whether those things will work in the Stone Age, or in the space age, or won't. So yes, the most important thing, man, we give our people scientific literacy. It's the most important thing to give the Africans in America and the African Americans. That's the most important thing. You're fighting a losing battle, right? Trying to get a person not to believe in this and that, right? Like, that's not going to work. But give them scientific literacy, and then they can use it as a measure to what they're actually talking about. Well, let me see, can a person really walk on water? Well, that would, scientifically speaking, human foot is not it's not flat enough, or it's not enough surface area, right? Yeah. It's not enough surface area to displace enough water to even hold 150 pounds or 300 pounds. But then the question remains, well, how does a battleship do it? It weighs tons, but it has enough surface area to displace enough of water for it to float. But this is scientific literacy, and you apply it to that. So I think, yeah, brother, I'm just saying, yeah, I think the scientific, you don't just give them scientific literacy, and the human being will stir itself away from it.
And I guess that my follow-up question to that would be, what methods do you use? Because I have a lot of debates with a lot of my friends, and I would say the general population in general, like even outside of just Black people, right? The general population doesn't necessarily read anything outside of like tabloid and popular shit, right? Right. The things that we're speaking about, or that you guys speak about here on Pseudo Killas, is subject matter that a lot of people consider to be boring, and it's even though it's like truly important and imperative for us to know this fundamental knowledge of even just like how the sky is blue. Most people can't even answer that question, like just on a layman term. So like, how do you approach providing scientific literacy in a not just an introductory level, but like in a layman term? You know what I mean? Because I'm always like battling with my homies. I had like a 2-month argument of if we reach the moon or not. Literally, like if we reach the moon or not for 2 months. And I'm like, yo, bro, like they were really trying to tell me the government basically psyoped the whole of NASA, all of those scientists that worked their whole lives and calculated all of these mathematics. The government psyoped them to believing that we went to the moon, and you know what I'm saying, and that's the perception that they have. So how do you approach like providing just fundamental layman scientific literacy to people without making them feel like they gotta defend something, or like they gotta be up in arms with what they know or what they think they may know?
So yeah, like it I'm looking, all right, here, let me show you something. It all goes, it's wild how everything is consistent, right? It's consistent. They didn't go to the moon, they didn't do this. When the reality is Russia, they would have to first prove that the Russians aren't allies with exactly the United States government, right? So remember that whole program to get to the moon it was a space race, right?
Yes.
With Sputnik, right? That you know, they had gotten to a certain level with Sputnik, and the United States was trying to fight. But watch this. So if you just show them this, they can't get past this. This is, let's do this. Okay, right? You ask them how the hell they get here. Look.
The reflectors on the moon, correct?
Yeah, right there. How I get there? Right? Who put that there, right? Now watch this. this is a great source right here. Sometimes you don't gotta go through the whole rigmarole. This is called third-party evidence of Apollo moon landing. This has nothing to do with the United States government, none of that, right? It says the third-party Apollo moon landing is evidence or analysis of evidence about moon landings that does not come from either NASA or the United States government, the first party, or the Apollo landing hoax theorists, the second party. It said this evidence serves as independent confirmation, right, of NASA's account of the moon landing. And it says stuff like this. Oh man, you got the Kettering Grammar School, right? You click that on. All right. A group of Kettering Grammar School using a simple radio equipment monitored the Soviet and the US spacecraft and calculated their orbits. It said, according to the group, in December 1972, a member picked up Apollo 17 on its way to the moon. It's all here, bro.
Yeah, it's all documented. Like, and it's kind of sad because our people have been consumed by cognitive dissonance at such a massive level that that they can't see past what they believe, right? So that's why I had to ask you that first question, like is it a detriment to tell them to not not believe what they believe because they hold on to it so hard, and it be to the point where a lot of times cats be ready to fight over what they believe, you know what I'm saying? And you could show them you could show them mountains of evidence and they'll still come back with, yeah, but you know, the government. And it's like,
yeah, because it ain't really about the mountain of evidence that you've shown, right? It's really about having them understand science. Trust me with that. It's about getting them to understand that one, science is counterintuitive. That's the first issue.
Yes.
The second point is science does not claim to give you the truth.
Well, answer, yes.
The answer. It doesn't claim that.
Yes.
Right? The answer is fluid. You know what I'm saying? It's not stuck there. Like there's room to change that answer.
Yep.
All right. So it's about how does science work, right? Is how I show people. So a great example is a scientific theory. What is that? That's organizing of facts.
Yes.
That doesn't say that a scientific theory is the final stage. Matter of fact, scientists, the thing has to be falsifiable, right? Like for instance, white swans, right? You know what I'm saying? Like swans are all white. Is that a falsifiable thing? Yeah, all you gotta do is find one swan, right? And that's falsified, correct?
Yeah. True.
Now, previously in the world, you might not have seen a white swan. During the time you're talking about, you might not have seen it. But what's the possibilities of you seeing a black swan? God, you can't falsify it because you can't measure it.
Exactly.
So people always mess up. Science does not claim to have the answers, right? That's not what science is saying.
Yeah, but it gives us educated educated knowledge towards the answer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Experts, right? People try to play with the expert shit. We
don't have enough black experts, and I think what I should say. I'm not gonna say we don't have enough. I'm not gonna say we don't have enough, but we don't have enough that are socially visible. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot, and that's just the nature of people who have an expertise in anything. They don't have the time to socialize because they are too busy being experts in what they're in. But I personally believe if more of our experts that look like us, you know what I'm saying, hopped on forums like yours, you know, and had greater conversations with the community, it would be more feasible for our people to start to grasp science and reality. You know what I'm saying? Because you got guys like Phil Valentine, who I put it in the chat. I personally hate his goatee, but he's out here. You know what I'm saying? He's out here telling our people that we live on a goddamn on a flat plane, and I'm disappointed in Brother Rich, because he's always giving him a goddamn platform to.
Rich is pseudo though. Rich a bona fide pseudo. He's been a pseudo from day one.
Yo, you know, Rich, I haven't watched his channel in probably like 2 or 3 years, but
pseudo from day one. The sound of the game is.
I thought he had moments of actual factual knowledge, you know. But once again, I haven't watched his stuff in like 3 years. And it was mainly because it was all of these pseudos. It was all of these pseudos on his joint. You know what I mean? But like, if we have people like that, and Rich gets like 20,000 views per joint. So now, if he's averaging like 20,000 views per joint, and every time Phil Valentine comes on, it's like 70,000 people watching. That's like 70,000 more people being led into a goddamn cliff. You know what I'm saying? Because
off the cliff.
Yeah, off the cliff. Yes, and there's no like recourse. There's no answer for those people for them to come back. They're just stuck at the bottom of the cliff, and then they trying to argue with you while you on land. They trying to argue with you that you wrong. That we live on a flat plane. You know what I'm saying? And even people like Rizza Islam. There's a guy, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a molecular biologist, big ass afro. He has a channel called Debunk the Funk. His name skips my mind right now, but he literally debunks every one of these like COVID denier, COVID like misinformation pushers. And I think you would enjoy his channel because not only because he's black, but also because he tackles and gets at a lot of the same pseudoscientists that you got at from the whole anti-vax community. Yeah, I mean, and when I try to tell our people, like, yo, you know, it's a white man that started this whole anti-vax shit.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
So let me say this though, because I'm gonna let Reggie and them come through. I would like to close. I would like to say this though. So when you talking Phil Valentine and Dr. Sabi and them, I think what I would like to say to Rizza Islam and those who follow Rizza Islam. Rizza Islam did not tell us about this new outbreak of monkeypox. Rizza Islam found out about the monkeypox the same time everybody else did, except for the experts, right? The infectious disease investigators. So Rizza Islam, while Rizza Islam is telling you don't mess with the white man's vaccines, right? What are you doing, Rizza Islam, to detect infectious disease? Do you have infectious disease monitors amongst you and the Nation of Islam? Hell no, because you don't believe in evolution, and two, you don't believe in the white man's science, which is not a belief. So while our people are listening to these people, the question is this: is there a quote unquote Dr. Sabi ambulance that will come and get you if you listen to them? And does the Dr. Sabi ambulance take you to the hospital? It's what we really want to know. Is there a Rizza Islam department that follows infectious disease as you talk shit about the CDC? See, these are the common sense questions we need to ask ourselves. What's good, brother Reggie? What it do, man? What's on your mind, man? I got Brendan, the pseudo killer official, on here too.
Peace, brothers. Peace, brother Reggie.
Yo, peace, Reg.
Peace.
I'm in the Bronx too.
In the Bronx. We can't hear you, Reggie. Can't hear you. Did all that. Raise your big hand.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. So, hey, good brother, what's your name? Maury?
No, Muro. M-O-U-R-O.
M-O-U-R-O. Maury. Muro.
Muro. Yep.
Muro. From where?
I was born in Burundi, but my father's from Mali and my mom's from the Congo.
Okay. Well, glad to join you.
Thank you.
And meet you. Okay, so what I would want to add to this is I grew up in a generation from my 20s with in the scholarly communities. So I grew up with listening to Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark and Dr. Leonard Jeffries. And I met Professor Small when he was 39 years old. That's when I met Professor Small. He was 39 years old, right?
Wow.
And Dr. Clark was 70 when I was 20, 21. Dr. Ben was in his late 50s going on 60s, right? At that time. In that time period, those scholars completely dismissed and laughed at Delbert Blair and the rest of them as they were coming up, because they were children, right? And so, and that's the whole group of them. That's the Kemetic people, not all of the Kemetic people, because some of them found themselves in ASCAC, and where they actually had to actually prove some of the things that they were thinking. But the whole Dr. Joseph Benjo Cannon laughed at them. Dr. Clark, you will never see Dr. Clark on a platform with any of these people. Sex sells, but now pseudo is the new sex. Pseudo sells. These people do care nothing about our people, nothing at all. They only care about people stroking their ego, the pussy that they get, the money that they make, right? And the things that they have. When our great scholars was alive, they was on the fringes. So then our scholars started passing away, right? I want to give you a paradigm that's going to help you. It's going to help everybody. When humans first began to, early humans were always trying to survive. Survival meant that they had to be symptomatic. They had to understand the weather. They had to understand the beast. They had to understand nature. They had to understand what foods they can eat, what foods couldn't they eat. They had to observe. That is the fundamental part of cognitive and neural evolution, leading to what you call the scientific method. They weren't there yet. They were at the point of observation, good observation, because we made it. We made it as humans to today, right? Then at some time period after humans became symptomatic, humans became Homo sapien, symptomatic, became Homo sapien symbolic, Homo symbolicus. They began to use symbols, right, to represent things that they did not know instead of knowing. Then is the great age of now symbol worship. Symbol worship is the thing that humans have been struggling with. The people in power are symptomatic. You don't think that the Pope believes the shit that in the Bible. He doesn't. But it's necessary to be the Pope, right? He has to be the master of symbolic thinking. Why? Because he has to control people. Now, what is symbolic is all of this is a paradigm. A paradigm is a set of rules that you use, right, to solve problems, right? It's always a set of rules that not beliefs, but rules that you use to solve problems. When you are symbolic, you create rules that don't help you to solve problems, but what you do is you create more symbolic thinking instead of solving problems. So you should not be worrying about our people because they are not our people. Those people are Homosymbolicus. They're not our people. Homo sapien symptomatic are your people. So it's yes?
What you say? What you saying, Reggie? What? Man, I gotta hit the rails on Reggie. What?
He was saying the symbol worshiping people
Oh.
aren't on our side, basically.
Oh, that was you were saying, Reggie?
Yeah.
The symbolic, Homosymbolicus is like another a metaphor for a separate branch of humanity that can't be saved. They can't live as Homo symbolica. They have to change to Homo symptomatic, right? Symptomatic is simply using facts based on your observations that you can create tools from. That is the thing. So Phil Valentine is—
You got the eyes up, Reggie. You got your eyes closed. I know you mixing some shit when you got them eyes.
Phil Valentine, no, because I'm deep in thought. I'm trying to help out people.
Homo symbolic and a homo.
He done went off.
Yo, can I ask one question? I
feel you, Reggie. I respect your your freedom to theorize.
No,
sure,
but Brendan, you can look up the words that I'm saying.
Oh shit!
You can look up.
I was just about to ask how to spell that.
Well, Homo Symbolicus?
What you consider us to be, not Symbolicus. I believe I could piece that together. But you said
piece together.
No, but what was the other word that you used for us? Homo symptomatic.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
Make that shit simple, man. The majority of human beings believe, period. Even us who don't believe in God, still gonna jump when we see a damn shadow thinking it's a human being. Like, okay, man, the brain itself is that though. Very, very symbolic.
So
right?
that was the pertinent question I wanted to ask you, because I know you bang on pseudos. I bang on pseudo shit as well, right? Excuse my language, but I wanted to ask. All right, so we revere ancient Egypt so much, right? And ancient Egypt built so much, was the first to create and was the first to make a whole lot in human civilization, right? But they had such a strong belief system, right? So how can a civilization that we would possibly consider pseudo, right? How could a pseudo civilization build and basically give us the foundation to all of our scientific understanding?
All right. So first, that's a false statement. The Egyptians did not give us no. That's not true. You got different parts of the world brought different things to the table. That's reality, right?
No, I mean
And
that part I do understand. Like I just mean
so they had a religion though. So they had
an inception, right?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying they had a religion like everybody. Your religion don't stop certain people in the civilization from developing other things. Just like in America, the dominant religion is Christianity. That don't stop the building of the electric car, Tesla. That doesn't stop that.
All right.
So it's when the government itself, right, is over religious is when things start to teeter. Like when the government starts to back that global warming really ain't a problem, then that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When the government fought over whether, watch this.
The Supreme
Robert
Court's
Blake.
trying to get rid of church and state right now.
No, I ain't, no, don't worry about
They're
it.
trying to separate it slowly, but yeah.
They already separated church and state.
I mean, not separated. They trying to bridge it back.
No, but they supposed to. It's called America. Our people just got to get out and vote. Right? And you got to know what the country was based on. The country was based off of, you got the Puritans trying to escape persecution, right? They wanted religious freedom. Okay? And the main thing that Thomas Jefferson was talking about was fucking separate that shit. Right? Because that's when you're going to go the most. Russia. Yeah, and I'm saying, hell, when Russia was actually moving out of the wood into the stone, building cities, right? They had to place a poll tax on the fucking priests and make them cut their beards. They had to get them out the business, right? So if you get your religious amongst you to run the goddamn country, you're in fucking trouble.
I agree.
Yeah, you're in trouble. But you don't gotta just wipe out the religion. Russia tried it. It don't work. People go underground with that shit. But yeah, you ain't gotta worry about that, because the successful people on planet Earth are those who push science. Like, they're the successful ones. And it doesn't have to be everybody. So we don't need, hell, it's more white people confused about science than any goddamn thing. Like, so we can't just say black people. That's a whole thing in the United States where literacy ain't there in science. And we go to school every day and graduate, go to science class, and we just don't, we don't get like for us, remember how we tried to learn about how the world was created through church? But we was in the science class.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
In the science class. That's
True.
where you learn where shit come from.
True.
Right? So, I mean, it's, yeah, you ain't gotta worry about that, yo. You out there ran over by a trash truck.
I'm sorry.
And brother, keep in mind, right? You know, that's one of the things that
Waiting for connection.
that's one of the things that is really fascinating about, you know, the ancient Egyptian culture, right? They have these religious motifs that are really interesting and exotic to us, right? But the religious piece, that's not all they did, right? They were masters of mathematics, science,
Yes.
health, technology. They were mastering their environment around them. They were controlling trade and the geopolitical situation around them, right? So, you know, when we talk about the religious systems, right, even though that was important in a very important part of their culture, that's not all they did, right? And I think the scientific piece is a lot what we highlight here on this channel, especially that's something that Brother Reggie does.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. But I feel like sometimes the argument steers so far towards the scientific side that we almost like forget that a belief system is the belief system was the foundation before the science, right? Would you say that those pyramids would have been erected without the people necessarily having a belief beyond themselves?
We didn't need those damn pyramids.
Huh?
We didn't need the pyramids.
No, I know we didn't need it. I'm just using it as like a barometer to
luxury item, yo.
Yeah,
It's a luxury item. They might have built their army better. Might have spent more money on the army, yo.
Right. And quite frankly, Right, they could have believed all they wanted to, right? Without those stone architects who knew mathematics, not one of those pyramids was going to get
Would have went
erected.
up. Yeah, yeah,
Can I share my screen real quick?
No,
yeah.
hell
I'm
no.
just playing devil's advocate
Just
because
don't
sometimes
don't
Yeah, for sure.
just to show that my work is research based. So I just want to show my screen. I'm not gonna take a long time. Okay.
Yes, you is, Reggie. We ain't doing that tonight. We moving quick. What you got to show?
I mentioned Homosymbolicus. Homosymbolicus, you can look it up.
Okay, we see it. That's a guy.
Right. Homosymbolicus
What's your point?
Homosymbolicus is a term. It's a book in a term. It says the emergence of symbolic culture, classified, identified with the European cave paintings of the Ice Age, is now seen in the light of recent groundbreaking discovery as a complex, non-linear process taking root in a remote past in different regions of the planet. In his book, the archaeologist responsible for some of these new discoveries, flanked by ethnologists interested in primate cognition and cultural transmission, evolutionary psychologists modeling an emergence of meta representation, as well as biologists, philosophers, neuroscientists, and astronomers combining research finding. Homosymbolicus is where we went wrong. Now, this is one of my teachers. His name is Edgar Ridley. He actually presented his thinkings to Cheikh Anta Diop. He stayed in Senegal for about 3 to 6 months, trying to work with Cheikh Anta Diop to have him include his work in Cheikh Anta Diop's work, but Cheikh Anta Diop did not necessarily agree with him. He says that the research conclusions research by Edgar Ridley associates known as the symptomatic thought process, far beyond the current research on symbolism and its effects on the brain. The theory of the symptomatic thought process will not only liberate Africa, but serve as qualitative thoughts for a better world. The symptomatic thought process is a key to problems facing today's civilization because it eradicates decisions based on mythology and superstitions behavior. The absence of these behavior components ushers in a qualitatively better world. Symbolic thinking goes hand in hand with mythological thinking. Thinking symptomatically means thinking non-symbolically or seeing things without attaching connotations. And that's what we should be doing. We should be seeing things without attaching mythological connotations. So my time is up for now.
but if the human mind is gonna correct me if I'm wrong. From the onset, we were talking about how the human mind is just going to naturally believe in something, right? And it's most likely going to rationalize that belief. So can we fully discard the belief part of our psyche? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Nah, you ain't gonna never do that. No, I ain't trying to do that.
Yeah.
Remember I said it? I'm just trying to give people scientific literacy. I don't care about what you believe.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I was only speaking to the statement that Reggie just made. Or was it?
Let me explain some of this, and let me explain a part of what I'm trying to say. Today in the modern world, in 2020, a lot of our thinking is guided by electronics. Electronics are making decisions, right? The electronics, artificial intelligence, and tools are moving us out of symbolic thinking, right? So the issue is those people who are stuck in the past aren't in technology because their spooky spiritual bullshit does not work with technology, right? So now the people who are winning are guided by tools, right? And these tools are so sophisticated now, they can actually read aspects of your mind, right? They can see you fucking up, right? They can see through walls. They can see through space in a way that we could never see before. Those people who are winning see money. They know that the dollar bill is a symbolic instrument, right? Now they're doing using ledgers and and cryptocurrency, right? Saying that money has been spooky all these years, right? People buying this American dollar and as a representation for oil, right? And you got to fly the fucking money, right, in planes so that the oil producing countries can have American money. That shit is over, right? So you have to be guided. I heard your electronics while you're driving, right? Right? Your tolls, your taxes, all of that now is electronic. The Phil Valentines and all of them, they're playing to the last uninvolved groups of human beings, right? And they're keeping them from evolving. They are dead, right? They have no meaning. Now we don't see it. We don't see it, but you know how they're dead? Because the algorithms on YouTube is slowly shutting down their goddamn money. So they got tricked. Everybody went on YouTube to start making money, right? Remote stuff. But now the algorithms are kicking their asses out, right? And all they got to do is just flip the switch, block your channel, shadow ban you, right? And guess what? You're out of here. So all the pseudos moved to technology and technology got them. Now they all shadow banned, right? Now they're being defunded on YouTube, right? That's the deal. So they won't be able to make money in the next 3 years because everybody else has been moved to remote, to science, to technology, right? So they can't, at some point, when those channels get knocked off, right? Like the Young Pharaohs and all of those channels, when they get knocked off, they don't have a voice. When they don't have a voice, look at Trump. Trump got knocked off of Twitter. Technology did that in policy. Now he don't have the influence. He can't talk to the people he used to talk to. I said enough. I'll stop. Thank you.
Let me read this. It says, all citizens should understand some basic scientific facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Simple. It says, there is always some uncertainty associated with scientific conclusions. Science never absolutely proves anything. See? Now, being as though that doesn't sound right. We've been programmed to get that absolute truth, right? We've been programmed that. So that's counterintuitive right there. Simple, like who's gonna get that statement? Watch this. But how many lay people understand what this means and recognizes it as a strength rather than a weakness of scientific reasoning? See what I'm saying? Like your friends, ask them that, right? Ask them, say, there's always some uncertainty associated with scientific conclusions. Science never absolutely proves anything. And they're gonna be like, oh. And then look, when a pseudo say that, imagine being a pseudo, and I say, there's always some uncertainty associated with scientific conclusions. Science never absolutely proves nothing. And that the person think they got you by saying that. How do you combat that?
Exactly.
You get it? How are we supposed to combat that? Because they use it against us. Well, the science is not certain, and it doesn't absolutely prove nothing. That's evolution is not proven. Absolutely, it's not. Right, nigga, that's the point. Religion is absolute. That's the point. There's room for growth. There's room for more information to come in. That is the point. So we got to teach them, you know what I mean, how science works. That's the point.
To be honest, COVID made me give up on humanity because I actually caught COVID, right? Like I actually had COVID, and it felt like nothing I ever had before, right?
Because it was like nothing you ever had before.
Yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, but like my mind like just rationalized, nigga, get the vaccine because you don't want to get this again, and then it might be worse the second time around, right? And I just remember letting people know like what I went through and the fact that I got a vaccine, and they were like, people were looking at me like I was some fucking government like experiment, and it really made me sit back, and I like for a minute I'm just calling everybody stupid. I'm just like, all y'all just dumb as hell. But it my humane side made me kick back and reflect, and it made me think about Harriet Tubman and how she said her main focus was getting the slaves out that realized that they were slaves and leaving the rest behind. And that's literally the point that I'm at now, especially with our people. And that's why it's always so refreshing to come to Pseudo Killas. I could never really find your exact page. I literally be typing in Bobby Banger, you know what I'm saying? And I don't find it. But if there's a proper name for your channel, please put it in the chat so that
I put it in
I can subscribe. And if you got like a membership system and all of that, like I'll join that as well. I actually got to run in a few, but I also do. Yeah. Thank you. I also do graphics, and I would love to. Yeah, I'm saying. Help you out however you
got the email. You got the email.
What, you texted it? Or
I'm gonna put it right here. Look, I'm gonna put it right in here for you. Let me put it in the thing. Put it in the chat. You can see the chat, right?
Oh yeah. I might have to go back to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna put right here on your phone, right here.
On Zoom?
Yeah, on Zoom. Hold on.
Oh yeah. I see the chat. I see it.
Hold on. Yeah, we're actually looking for people to submit some graphics, man. And we gotta all be part of this. Don't sit the fuck back. Don't do me like that, yo. We need your help.
Oh, hell to the yeah. I believe my big homie Dre. He's from New Jersey. But I mean we'll probably on a better time. Okay, I see it right here.
Yeah.
I see it right here. Abjuware@gmail.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, in terms of convincing people, brother, I would say focus on some of your younger brothers and sisters, and I know you look like you're old enough to have kids, right? Focus on them as well, right? You may not be able to convince your peers of everything, right? That's why they're your peers. They're there to debate with you, and you guys go back and forth, right? I can remember when I was younger, and some of my homies, right? We would go back and forth with information, right? We could never convince each other on all things, right? But the really important piece, especially when it comes to scientific literacy, right, is focusing on those ones coming behind you, right? You may not be able to convince your friends, right? But you certainly can influence your children, right? Make sure they've got the correct tools, right? Because that's where it's important, right?
Most definitely. I haven't had any kids, but I do have little homies, and I definitely do try to steer them in the best direction possible. And I do thank you for saying that, because that is a great piece of reassurance. This whole conversation was a great piece of reassurance for me. And I really love what you brothers are doing. You got a supporter, an ally in me. You know what I mean? And then I just want to say one thing before I get off. Ankh, don't ever acquiesce to a false premise. You be letting Sheffrin and Cosmic Corey draw you out all the time, man. And it's always so funny because they instigate you. But it keeps the show very interesting, and and I would just love to hear you beat them up a little more on the whole Mediterranean thing. They be having points, but I ain't even gonna lie. Like you come through in OG fashion every time, and pull not just their coattail, but the whole chat's coattail. And I thank you, man. I really appreciate you, fellas.
That's because I stay reading more than them niggas do.
Oh my God.
Them ninjas.
Now everybody on the panel always has something great, great information to offer. But yo, man, I gotta give it up to where, you know what I mean, where I hear it come from the best, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. We're gonna keep the diverse opinion on the show. I think that's essential, man. And one thing we all agree on is scientific literacy. And
we don't agree on Mediterranean, right?
No, don't nobody no damn Mediterranean. That's stupid. Motherfuckers, they moved towards the Mediterranean, yo. Traded in the Mediterranean, dominated the Mediterranean, yo. Why it's gotta be that? It's just an old way.
I didn't know all of North Africa was the Mediterranean. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they make it that on purpose.
Yeah, nah, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
I hope Corey hears it. But yeah, man, you fellas have a good night.
Appreciate you stopping through, man. Appreciate the conversation, bro. Need more people like you. Yeah, hit that email up, man. Holler at your boy, yo.
Definitely will. I'll be in the back chat. Thank you.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
What's up, Adrian Wiley? What the hell on your mind, man? What you gonna say? What's up?
What's up, sir? What's up, sir?
Good.
How everybody doing today? What's up, Brendan? What's up,
What's going
brother
on, Adrian?
Oh man, you know,
Man,
just
how are
reading.
classes, sir? How are classes coming?
Oh, I got 2 A's in my summer courses, so that brought my GPA up to a 3.6.
Okay.
So I'm on the dean's list again.
All right. Congratulations.
Nah, nigga. If I don't see the paperwork, I don't believe it. Yeah,
I'll
like
shoot
this
it
and none of that shit no more. Nigga, I need to see it. I see your grade. I know, bro. I send you grades.
I shoot you my grades all the time.
You better have it, yo, because I ain't listening. Don't tell me from now on, if you tell brother Unc I'm in school, got a degree, and I ain't seeing it, I don't believe you. I ain't spreading it. Nope. I ain't doing it, yo. If you say, well, nigga, that ain't your business, great, then stop making it my business. Stop telling me about it.
Hey, I respect all of y'all. That's why I will be shooting you my grades and stuff. I respect all of y'all.
Yeah, I'm glad you. I like that though. Yo, like, yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of
Good to
you,
see
man.
you in school, yo.
Since middle school, man.
Yeah,
you
I
was
like that.
a real black atheist, and you was fighting against the Hebrews with the snapback, and you had the round table.
Oh yeah, that was my shit right there, yo. Yeah, that was definitely my thing right there, yo. Yeah.
Oh, man. But since you always talk about scientific literacy, you know what you should honestly get into that's gonna really help you out?
Yeah, what?
You could try to get into Marxism a little bit, because get into Marxism, because here's the thing, I'm not talking about it from an economic standpoint. It's from the fact that it's a good way of looking at history. It's a good historiography tool to use, and you know, it'll really help you out.
Nigga, look, why don't you get into it?
Oh yeah, I'm already into it. That's why I be talking about the dialectics of materialism, and I'm a materialist, man.
Yo, you crazy, yo. I'm not doing no damn. Man, would you stop?
Marxism failed.
Oh,
Marxism itself is
I'm not no damn Marxism.
Marxism is really symbolic thinking, right? It failed. It is a utopia. Wait, I'm gonna ask you a question since you study Marxism. What's the highest form? What's the highest form of Marxism?
Highest form of Marxism, that is, oh God, help me out.
Can't help you out. You came away with Marxism.
Yeah, the highest form of Marxism is a utopia world of communitarianism. Communitarianism is the highest form of Marxist thought, right? And it's a utopia, it's a heaven, right? And
Right.
so it becomes religious. Marxism always has to be adjusted in societies because it's not usable. It really is an antithesis to capitalism, right? But Marxism has failed in all of its thinkings in Russia and in China, because now it's a hybrid of capitalism with state-controlled thinking. So it has failed. So if it was an answer to capitalism, capitalism has won over. So Russia today is a capitalist country, and so is China, except for the rule of the people. And so to tell a person to study Marxism is just to ask a person to study the history of Marxism and look at the terminology. But if you looked at it strongly, you will find that it's failed. It's failed in Africa, right? It never took off in Africa. It completely failed in Africa, and it has been a super exploitator of Africa, from Russia to China. So the best form of it, the most successful, the revolutionary movement, where Cuba stepped in, right?
Yeah, they FOCO.
And then that failed. But then the other movements, Frelimo and all of those, the fights against the Portuguese and stuff, those were revolutionary movements with the elements of socialism or communism, but it failed. Kwame Nkrumah got kicked out of his country, right? They allowed the coup to happen to Kwame Nkrumah because Kwame Nkrumah alienated the traditional Africans, put them in jail, right? And so he lost. He lost his nation, even though there was some product. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll stop.
I'm well aware that Marxism, Leninism failed during the collapse of the Soviet Union in the 80s. But like, in one of my my history textbooks that I had to use in my gifted history courses talked about how Marxism, Leninism can be used as an excellent, historiography, a way of looking at it. Like, I know that Marxism is dead as a economic system, but as a way of looking at the world, I think that is very, useful.
Only if you're at the top. If you're not a part of the party that's controlling the masses, right? And the resources of the masses, it fails. It completely fails. It's so capitalism is always better because capitalism gives you the better illusion of things like success and equality, though you don't really have it. It's still economic based. So you can still keep studying it. Listen, I actually debated Stokely Carmichael Kwame Ture.
You told me about it.
I actually debated him and all African People's Revolutionary Party for a whole 7 to 10 minutes, and there was really no comeback because he was trying to use tourism and Nkrumahism, and it failed. So if it failed, why are we talking about it, right? I do believe in a people's revolutionary movement, but the fact of the matter is you need resources and capitalism, and the world is global now. So to get weapons, you have to trade, right? You can't be insular, right? And so you have to somewhat either participate in it, and even the small countries now have weapons. Africa don't have no goddamn real weapons, right? Why? Because they have those who went to socialism isolate themselves. So listen to Ankh. Then they hijacked it and they started calling it scientific socialism. So all of a sudden they realized that socialism wasn't scientific. So then they started talking about scientific Marxism, scientific socialism. It's not scientific. It's a economic fucking religion.
Wouldn't you argue that all, like, I guess political ideologies to a certain degree can be, you know, a religion to a certain degree? Because would you bring it up that, you know, the Communist Party, like the Communist Party in Russia, China always had like almost a fanatical, well, I take that back, not a fanatical, but a zealous, you know, almost. Do you get what I'm saying? Like with the like, you know, the Politburo
I
and
got
stuff.
it before you said it, because I told you it's religious fanatics. It's religion, right? And then when a religion fails, they end up killing their leaders because it's their promised land is not delivered. So I told you, I gave you a word, communitarianism, and that is the how can I say, that is the highest form of socialism and communism, communitarianism. So you should look it up. If you want, I'll show you to your screen. I'll show you the spelling of it. Do you know that Kwanzaa is socialist? You don't know that.
Yeah, that's because I think that's what what's his name in the Black Panthers got into it about.
Yeah.
Right?
So communitarianism, a theory of social organizations based on small self-governing communities and ideology that emphasizes the responsibility of the individual to community and the social importance of the family unit. That is individual versus communitarianism. You can look up that. You could I could do a versus communism, right? But forget the practitioners of it, because Malala Karenga, it was new to Karenga, right? So what is the difference between communitarianism and communism, right? So since listen, communitarianism, communism, both philosophical, ideological movements and ideal types of society, fucking utopias. Communitarianism presents a worldview that promotes the well-being of communities. Communitarianism is often seen as the opposite of individualism, although the direct opposite of individuals, collectivism, an ideal society for communitarians is one where individuals are embedded in the community and maybe and there is no contradiction between individual and collective needs. So then they map it, right? So communitarianism, leftism, rightism, individualism. Communitarianism is the fucking utopia of the and then the political ideology of communism advocates social economic equality, not just the equality of the opportunity, but the equality of the outcomes. Communist society is one where the individual is able to achieve their highest level of human potential. Bullshit, right? So they have common features. Okay, so I don't want to go on and on because it's not the show. The fact of the matter is, the more you know, the more you find that you don't know, right? Because I grew up in a Black Studies department in a university, these are the things that we had to do, study in the university, right? Using tools, using terms, writing papers, right? Having debates in front of professors, right? I could be right, but I could still get an F based on the lack of my my sources and my tools. So I'll stop. So Adrian, be careful about talking about something that is an ideal society, which is anytime you see ideal, run away. That's nothing is going to be ever ideal, right? It's fucking religion.
You right on that one.
Yeah, you're gonna sending me down the rabbit hole of Marxism, bro. No, you crazy.
But I mean, that's what some historians use right now as a way of using historiography. So, you know,
Man, why I gotta do that though?
I mean, it's one of the ways historians use history. You know, there's Whig, Marxism, Leninism, history from below, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I had to learn about that when I was in my
You
history
took the
class.
class, so you trying to get us to do
I mean,
Okay.
you know, it's graduate
Okay.
level, you know, history courses I did
Okay.
last year. It's,
Adrian, just to help you out, the party whose ideology most consistent in line with communitarian ideological positions in the United States is the Prohibition Party, PRO, known for being an integral part of the temperance movement. PRO is the oldest existing third party in the United States and the third longest active party. Communitarianism has also influenced policies advocated by centrist, Democratic, international, and Christian Democrats. In particular, many policies proposed by President George W. Bush during his 2000 presidential campaign were informed by communitarianism, support for charter education, volunteerism, community programs, right? Likewise, Barack Obama was influenced by communitarian ideas, right? I could go on and on and on. The more that you know, the more that you don't know. So communitarianism is something that you should study while you're studying socialism and communism, and you'll find out the big fail. These are ideological. Ideological is utopian, and hey, look, run away from that shit fast as you can. Okay.
Now you study it, but I don't know about using it as a model to what you saying.
I mean, no, I'm serious. It was in the studying. It was in my studying history textbook by Jeremy Black. It lists all of the historiographies historians use to, you know, look at history, and I found that one to be the most interesting. You know, so I'm just, you know.
Yeah,
You trying to make me a Marxist, yo.
right. But
Dang.
interesting is masturbation, right? Interesting is masturbation.
Funny guy, yo.
So here, look up
I
community.
never know what you gonna say out your mouth when you come in here, yo. Shit, I'm barely trying to figure out the Egyptian shit, let alone Marxists.
Well, here's Wikipedia on communitarianism. These are my sources. Read the sources. We could get back to Egypt. The successes and failures of Egypt. Egypt had an opportunity, but Egypt failed because of in the balance between their methods and their belief systems. And so these new Kemetic people, they are selling, look at them, they're selling. Everything has a cost. You want to learn something, you got to pay. If you want to learn their beliefs, you got to pay, right? You got to pay. Why shouldn't you pay, right? Here's their line now. Their line is, you could go to a theological seminary and you have to pay. So why don't you pay us? As if what they're teaching is the same as what's happening in a theological seminary. You hear that shit?
All right, the reading. One thing for sure, the reading light is off. The reading light is off. We've used up the amount of time allotted for reading. From this point, if you ain't got it at the top of your head, don't know what the source is, then you're done.
I'm very
hit that like and subscribe button, man. All right, make sure y'all subscribe to the Bobby Banger channel too, man. Let me see. Let me check over here and see how many people paid attention, man. We gotta pay attention. It's the Bobby West The Banger Show. BOBBY, capital WES space The Banger Show. I probably gotta change that like that. I'm gonna put it in there for y'all. Hold on. See, y'all can see.
One thing about the new age Kemetic practitioners, as we call them, they're very interesting because like what makes me skeptical about these people is that how would they know what the Egyptian priests had practiced thousands and thousands of years ago when the last priest, Manetho, was murdered by the Greeks after he wrote his history of Egypt? So how would they know what the Egyptians was doing thousands of years ago in terms of like a religious manner? Like that's very weird.
Mm.
Hey, only a few of them. Jabari is the best as far as history is concerned, but the fact of the matter is there's an absence of primary materials that you are really talking about. So, so the fact of the matter is Manetho was of the Egyptian culture. We don't, but he was also seemingly Greek speaking. So he was in that Hellenistic world. And so what? Who cares? The fact of the matter is Egypt had already fell by the time of Manetho, right? It completely failed. And I mean, it failed centuries before that, attacked by the Assyrians, right? Attacked by the Persians, attacked by the Greeks, attacked, right? So it had already failed, and it fell on its face because it didn't protect their borders. So religion didn't help them. I read the text the other day when Taharqa, the Africans from the Nile Valley Africans from Nubia who embraced Egyptian culture. Now, Egyptian culture is not, it's not spooky. It's not based on no fucking holy blood. It's based on ethnicity, culture, language, right?
What'd you say, Reggie?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said Egyptians, ancient Egypt, to be an ancient Egyptian is not based on no holy blood. So we're bad.
Oh.
It's based on culture, ethnicity, language, right?
Oh.
And so if you follow those laws, you can be an Egyptian, right? And so, and you can spread that culture to other cultures who may not be completely ethnically Egyptian, but you can get the technology, you can get the language, you can get the thinking, you can use it, you can trade. So they're batty when they think when they think it's about some holy blood. It's not about no holy blood, the Egyptians. You got to be, the Egyptians was born out of Nakata and Nubian A and other cultures. You got to be a dummy to think it's about holy blood. Egypt had failed because they did not balance their beliefs against the reality of their neighbors. I'll stop.
Mm. Hey, so I'm up to 102 subscribers on the Bobby Banger Show. B-O-B, capital B-O-B-B-Y, capital W-E-S, space, capital T-H-E, capital B-A-N-G-E-R, show. There you go. I put it in there, man. I want to get at least what I said, 100, 105. I'm 2 subscribers away for the day. Come on now. Get something accomplished around here. Man, subscribe to the channel, Reggie. It's bullshit, bro.
I did subscribe to your channel.
To the Bobby Banger?
Yeah, you ain't got no, it says the channel doesn't have any content.
All right.
Damn, you got 106 subscribers.
I ain't no content yet. I ain't gonna start till I get 200 subscribers. When I get to 200 subscribers, that's when I'm going in.
Yeah, I'm subscribed.
These guys love me enough to give me 200 subscribers. Like, y'all gotta stop that, man. God dang, what in the hell is going on? Put in there again. Where we at? Any question from the chat room? Hey, Brendan.
Sir.
So, okay, little light discussion. So you did recognize what I was talking about when I was talking about Cthulhu. Am I correct?
Yeah, for sure. The motifs in terms of the royalty and kingship that's shown on the Cthulhu incense burner, right? You know, that's one of those artifacts that was found down in Cthulhu in the areas of Nubia, right? Right. Some of those motifs were actually reflected, or they pattern some of the motifs that we see in Upper Egypt as well, right? So yes, yeah, I follow your point there.
See this?
But it was I thought it was my point also. Nubia A and Nakata, right? So Nubia A is where Kustal comes from. Instance burning.
You see this? You see this, right?
Yeah, I see that.
You know what I'm holding, right? Right, Brendan?
Yeah, that's the archaeological survey, the book that you talked
Yeah.
about, right? Yep.
Right. So while I'm living the goddamn dream. I'm living the dream while everybody else is in the Wikipedia. I'm living the dream, goddamn it. I'm saying, okay, yeah, but most people ain't gonna spend no money on this right here. You read up on it. Let me show you. Y'all, you wouldn't know whether it's Egyptian or not. You wouldn't know. So what kind of when you read that, right? And it brought some clarity to the situation. What was your what was you think when I say, well, hell, when you look on the rock art, when you look just on the Kusul incense burner, right? They're actually the first people. Those Nubians, miscalled Nubians, are actually the first people that dressed like that, and it was so much so that they swore that they was Egyptian slaves of the goddamn Egyptians. That's the funny part to me.
Right, and just as a bit of backstory for the listeners, right? We were doing some back and forth in terms of what were some of the differences between the Nubian culture and the Nubian state, right, and the Egyptian. And one of the things that I saw in one of the sources that I was reading, and this came from one of the Oxford sources, they were making a differentiation between the Nubian form of how they represented and they showed power and statehood. They say that was somewhat unique as opposed to how Egypt actually showed its representations of power and statehood, right? How it represent the power of the pharaohs and the power of the leaders, right? I'll give you one example that it used. It says that that Nubia used motifs using the scorpion. It uses the lion. It uses things like demonstrations, the processions and the demonstrations in public to show power and statehood, as opposed to Egypt, and its way of doing it was somewhat different, right? And one of the things that one of the things you mentioned, you says, well, if we think that these motifs are so much different, right? What about the white crown of Egypt being shown or depicted on the Kustal incense burner, right? Mm-hmm. That is a sort of a synchronism between the two cultures, right? And actually that was a good point, right? So I went back to the Cambridge element, and within the Cambridge element, it sort of describes some of the commonalities between how power is represented between Nubia and Egypt, right? It talks about how indeed the motif of the scorpion and the lion was actually used in Upper Egypt as well as Nubia, right? As well as the white crown. The representation of the white crown was used in Upper Egypt and within Nubia. So those were some of the interesting nuances. What we were seeing.
So here's the thing.
I think this verifies. Hold on, real quick, Reggie. I think this verifies that there was an ancestral population that they came out of. The similar tools, the similar pots, the similar crowns and stuff, that they actually came out of an ancestral population, not from the goddamn Mediterranean. Show me a Mediterranean person or kingship wearing that crown, you won't find it. Go ahead, Reggie.
Thank you. So we have to distinguish between Nubian A and Nubian B and Nubian C and Nubian X. So if you look at Nermer, if you look at the Nermer palette, right, you're gonna see that he himself is wearing the bull's tail, right? He is wearing a bull's on his kilt. So what that king did was he is part of two kingdoms. He is part of Nubia A, and he's part of Nakata. So what they did to the birth of Egypt was the unification of those two cultures. Those two cultures began Egypt. So Nermer was not Egyptian. Nermer created a combined state that used both motives throughout the Nile Valley. So a lot of people get it wrong when they look at Nubia. What Nubia are you looking at? If you're looking at Nubia A, you're looking at the Custal and the shared cultures in between Nakata and Nubian A, and the birth of writing is in those two civilizations, in Nubia A and Nakata. That's where writing comes to be, and all ancient Egyptians did was to better innovate that culture. But there are some differences later when it comes to religious beliefs. But both cultures in the early was basically a cattle culture. Cattle was the economic Kata, Nubian A, and its child Egypt, and the surrounding cultures that weren't part of Egypt. It was all cattle, and so cattle was a conduit of spreading information when you have portable art. So when you are trading and you have portable art, so then the culture is being spread, a continuity of culture. The ideas of kingship came way before that. You could see it in the rock paintings. In the rock paintings, you could see the culture in Chad during the Sahel, and you could see it in the in Libya and Tunisia, and in those rock paintings. So we got to be very, very careful about separating Nubia. Nubia is Egypt, right? It's not separate. It is Egypt. But then once the king now sets up domains in which he can control as a king in against his neighbor kings that he could not control, he just said, to hell with y'all. Y'all do you, we do us. And so then there was
What? What'd you say, Reggie? The what?
the trans-regional,
Nubia, hold on. What'd you say? I heard the Nubia is Egypt.
I said
And they couldn't control them. So they
right,
lived
they
it.
couldn't control some kingships inside the Upper Egypt. Beyond the cataracts, right? So they couldn't control them because there were other kingdoms, other state formations.
Who couldn't control them?
Egypt, Nermer. So they created borders.
And this sort of leads to another question I was going to ask, Reggie, right? Which I thought was very interesting today, right? So we went through a ton of sources. We're doing a bunch of reading here, and I'm seeing the similarities inside of the cultures between Egypt and Nubia, right? That's almost undeniable, right? There were a lot of cultural entanglements. There was a continuity of shared imagery, shared motifs. So we see that piece, right? But from a statehood perspective, right? Those cultures saw themselves very different from a statehood perspective. They were at odds, right? For more than likely, more than not, right? These cultures were at war. Again, right? What's Egypt called Kush, the wretched Kush, right? You call them the wretched Kush. You at some point, was it Nubia? They allied with the Hyksos against Egypt. So even though you had these cultures that were very similar, right, between Egypt and Nubia, these very, very similar culturally, but they saw themselves very differently from a statehood perspective. Can you kind of, I guess, go in on that a bit?
Yeah, so the term is, I'll find the video, but the term is, so Dr. Mario Beatty of ASCAC and of Howard University went to the Egyptological conference, and he argued the term, what does Hesi mean, right? So Hesi is the term that you are using as wretched. And so Hesi does not mean, when we say wretched, it doesn't necessarily mean wretched. It means basically in the geopolitics of the region, areas in which there was a dispute, right? That there was dispute, that they were strong, that they were difficult to defeat, and it was better to manage our borders against those that are Hesi. So the Nubians, or those of those groups of people, yes, they had a period of time where the reason why they dealt with those those Asiatics was because Egypt was blocking what they call ancient Egypt, the Tawi, that state was blocking their trade. They simply wanted to trade with other groups of people, and so it was really about their ability to want to trade, and Egypt was in the middle of it. And so yes, they made alliances with the Hekakasu because they wanted to get into the Levant, right? They just wanted to expand. They didn't want to be isolated, and Egypt was blocking that. Egypt wanted to control the south, and they wanted to control the north, and so there's dispute there, right? So yes, they decided to work with the Hekakasu, right, for purposes of bringing down the Egyptian rule. But we make Egypt as if it's us. It's Egypt was us, and so we fall into that trap, instead of understanding the geopolitics of the region.
Even I would kind of like to add to the cultural unity of like Africa to a certain degree. It still involves this, and this is what Diodorus Siculus says. He says that this was that the Egyptians are colonists sent out by the Ethiopians, the black people of the African interior, and the most part of Egyptian customs are Ethiopian, with the colonists still preserving their ancient manners. That's what I want to add.
Yeah, it's
bad terminology, because to say Ethiopians, what do they mean by Ethiopians, right? Or they talk about sub-Saharan. Just bad terminology in that thinking. So they're saying a state other than ancient Egypt. So we gotta update that. We gotta update and use things like Cambridge elements and modern to actually put that in proper context, right? They're not our Theodorus Siculus. He's not. He was in his time with the information that he had. Now we have material culture, and we have a better sense of what was going on there.
Right, it just gets very interesting once you start really digging into the realities of the history, right? You begin to see that these ancient cultures weren't as different from us as we may think, right? You mentioned that Egypt wanted to control the geopolitical situation around it, right? It sounds very similar to how modern nation states act today, right? It's very important to in terms of controlling trade, in controlling the immigration population coming in and out, right? Being able to define, right, who are your loyalists and who are not your loyalists, right? These things were really important, right, to both ancient Egypt and Kush. And when you start looking into it, right, it just gets really interesting. These people were really they're more modern than you may think, right?
Yeah, the only thing, in my opinion, that's different from the ancient human from yesterday versus the one from today is basically, technology. In a sense, like, they didn't have cars or, advanced weapons. They still, was brought down by the same things that brings people down today, like disease, famine, failure of the state. So, that's a brilliant observation that they weren't as they weren't as different as we are.
We can say it
All right,
better.
let me bring this up. I like to always bring a source. All right. Yeah, I love to bring. In fact, I enjoy bringing sources. Man, I did this on the Blog Talk Show 10 years ago, and people act like I didn't do it then, but you know, can always bring that back up. Here you go. Let me see. Let me go to the email real fast. Break this out for all y'all North Africans. All right. Shout out to the North Africans that support Chief X. Shout out to you. Lie down with dogs, wake up with fleas. Ain't that what they say? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got them. Absolutely. All right, we'll put the paper on here for y'all. Bam. All right, got it. Put them in the game. Put me in the game, coach. So we got a lost late pre-dynastic, early dynastic royal scene from Gahar Aswan. All right. Okay. Down there in Aswan. All right. Okay. Now, let me show the screen for you. Let me get it together. Let me put it on you. All right, we right here. This is good, right? This is what they don't got. You ain't never seen this before, right, Brendan?
I think I have. I didn't really do a lot of research. What are we looking at?
Well, to the right, you see the actual drawing. To the left, you got it on the actual cave wall. And this is important. We see the mace head, right? We see the on the standards, right? We see the royal procession, mace head job. We got the there's certain things that you got the white crown on. But I want y'all to look in the foreground right here. You got the hawk up there, I believe. Now, what I want you to look at is in the foreground. Do y'all see this canine right here?
Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
So, dog, you do not find the dogs in the Egyptian joint. These dogs right here are actually domesticated. How do we know they're domesticated? Because the Nubians buried them with them, and they was all the fucking same. That's how you know it was domesticated. Basically the same size, same everything. So it was actually domesticating this. All right, it's not a wild statement. Okay, but you will not find later on. You will not find a dog, right, in the Egyptian royal procession. But this is the early royal procession right here. The staff, you see it, right? Let's pull up. Let me do this. I would like to do this. Let me pull up the Nomus palette. That's a good indicator.
Right,
Right.
and the canine was accompanied by the soldiers, right? Because the Nubian soldiers actually used the canine as, I guess, as a companion at war, right? It
Well,
was the canine was actually considered a piece of his equipment, sort of like the bow.
Well, there you had it.
The Magi were later the Magi. They was also buried with their canines. And so if you can look at Magi burials, which is certainly a part of those groups of the people from Nubia that engaged and partnered with the Nile Valley, the ancient Egyptians. So you could look at Melhepri and you can see Melhepri's dog utilities. That dog, if you look, I mean, he has a name. His name is Said, right? And then there's also the jackal. But Ankh is right that they were domesticated. But it is part, even I think in King Tut, Tutankhamun, there is artifacts of dogs. So dogs were a part of the but I want to hear more what Ankh has to say.
Now I keep talking. I'm gonna pull it. Man, what the hell I do with this? Hold on one sec. I want to show you side by side here so we can kind of get what Brendan was actually talking about, right? And you'll hear me make a statement that I make a distinction between the early 1900s, the origin and the beginning of Egyptology, and the mode of thinking that they used, okay? You'll hear me talk about that all the time. So I'm gonna use this website right here. This is a basic website. It's called Smart History, the Center for Public Art and History. All right. Not even gonna say this is actually an academic source, but it shows good pictures. All right. So we're gonna use it for the value of the pictures on here. All right. And y'all can go to the website and kind of, let me see, hold on. All right, I'm gonna bring no trash to y'all. I wanna make sure we don't wanna do the wild history. Let's see, real quick. So, all right, let me show the screen. Let me show you how we're gonna vet this. We just gotta learn how to vet shit too, man. I think all this is essential. So let's vet the website. All right, I see good pictures, right? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. All right, first of all, these are quality goddamn pictures. The website is a quality website, okay? It uses the .org. Y'all remember we talked about the .org and the significance of the .org? You remember that, right, Brendan?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so the .org is significant, right? And remember they grandfathered in before they start putting regulations on .org, anybody could use it. Then they changed it over. It had to be academic, right? All right. So okay. Then let's click on the guy. Let's see. He's a doctor. Is he a real doctor? Let's see though. Dr. Amy Calvert is a contributing editor of the Ancient Egyptian Art. Amy holds a PhD from the Institute of Fine Arts at New York University. That's a credible university. And has been involved in several excavations. This is important for me. Excavations in Italy, Egypt, and the US. She has acted as a registrar in the field for the Osiris Temple Project with the Yale University of Pennsylvania, New York University addition to Abydos, and has worked in the British Museum and Museum of Fine Art. So her what I want to say, her, not representation, but her work precedes her. So for me, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for high quality universities, first of all. Okay. All right. I'm saying, what does she have? Does she have a doctorate degree in, say, math? Right? No, she actually has it in dealing with archaeology. All right. If I read that correctly. PhD Fine Art University has been involved. So she's been involved in excavations. Obviously, I'm interested in people who actually excavate. I think this is important. So for me, this would make this website credible. The very person making the quality of the pictures, the .org, right? It's not some nonsense, right? All right, and so I deem this to be credible, something I would actually give to you. So let's look at the pictures here. All right, I'd rather just do it very simple. So, okay. Smash talked about that. Smash talked about this. The Doug's Palette, Heliopolis, Egypt, 3,100. All right, boom. Yeah, high quality. Museum, University of Oxford. You see these long neck things right here. Remember Smash talked about that? They laughed at them. Ha, 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 ha. 3,100 BC. You see the long neck creatures right here, right? Is this coming from Mesopotamia? No. It's called the Dog's Palette. Boom. All right. Already there. You don't need Mesopotamia to do that. All right. Okay. So that same motif is right here. Okay. But what I want to pay close attention. Let me move it. Let me see if I can do that. Y'all know how to do this. Okay. So pay close attention. See if I can make sure y'all can see it clear, right? Y'all see the procession right here. You do not see any dogs in this at all. Okay, you see the priest wearing a leopard skin with their tail on it. Reggie talked about that, right? That's important. That's a priest, though. Okay, you'll find best with a tail on it, right? You'll find the Nubians with the leopard skins with tails on it, though, right? You'll definitely find that. And Rising and them said they was like monkeys or some nonsense. That see, they have tails. They represent themselves as tails. That was the running joke. They really said this in Egyptology. Okay, so I'm not quite sure who this priest is, but he definitely has on the Nubian garb. But he's a priest in the royal procession. Yeah, simple as that. Okay, so but watch this. The royal procession right here, right? You got Nama, the red crown of Lower Egypt, sandals, kilt. You got a boat. You got the heads chopped off. So this is actually, and Brendan can explain some more. Okay, and I think we had a real serious conversation about these motifs and about they're representing a war, right? Now, for me, watch this, y'all. The reason, see that circle right there? The reason they have elongated the heads of this, because this is the area where you would actually crush the makeup. So I think for me, the simple answer would be is a makeup holder, goddammit. Why they gotta come from Mesopotamia, I don't know why they did that. They played the game. But for me, this is actually form follows function. I'm gonna say this again. I learned this in my art class. Form follows function. What is the function? It functions as a palette for women, right? Or for whoever wears makeup, where you can crush the powder up and you would actually crush the powder right here. This is essential to know. Now, but look at the procession. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Well, let me see. I want y'all to really see it. All right, the procession. Come right here. See, the procession, the crown, the procession. What's the difference here? The dog. The Nubian dog. All right.
Let me just add to this, because I just go back to the normal palettes, because I just don't go back to the okay, so so you have two Horuses. You have a male Horus and a female Horus. Then over here you have the Wawa Wet, which is a Wet Wet, which is a jackal, right? And then over here you have where the jackal actually lives. So you do have you do have aspects of the dog, which is said. And if you go back to the rock painting that you showed, you will see Horus and you will see said. So go back to that. I just want you to
wait, where you at? Let's go right where you at.
Right. Okay. So go to the procession.
I'm here.
All right. So the woman, her name is Chet. That's her name, Chet.
The priest?
The priestess.
Okay.
The female. Her name is Chet, and we know she's a female because of the feminine T right here, right? Next to it, the first pygmy or African that has a staff is that's what they call the shed.
Where in the front of her?
Go to the first one in front of Chet, right there. Okay, so this thing right there, sometimes they call it the placenta. Go to the one next to the woman. The one that I identified as the woman. That one right there. They sometimes they say that is the placenta.
You gotta stop that, Reggie. They don't know what that is. Stop. I'm not gonna let you do that.
You don't have to. You do not have to let me do
it.
You
gotta get a source for that. But keep going.
The next one is a jackal on top of the second one's a jackal, the Wawa Wet. That's a jackal on top of the place that he lives. And the next one is a female hawk, and the first one is a male hawk.
You talking about the 4 sticks?
The 4 sticks and what's on top of them, right? So the first one is what they would call the placenta, the holy placenta. The
Oh
second
man,
one,
you man, I swear you man. Reggie, you before you get off this show, you had to go get that in the TLA somewhere. Yeah, you had to go get that, yo. I don't care. You can fall out your seat. Yeah, go get that. 'Cause that's Malachi York shit sounding. But go get it and just shut me up.
yeah.
Yeah. So you want me to go back to this?
No, the other one, the first
No,
one.
you said go back to
Right
this. You
here.
were gonna show us something. You mean right here on top of the step, right?
No, yeah, go all the way, yeah, right there. So that is the dog. That's the dog. That's the said, and the first one is the Horus, the whore.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a hawk, Horus. So and then
But I wasn't talking about what was on the step. I was talking about in the forefront, how they incorporated that in there.
yeah, so the dog on the bottom is living. The dog on the bottom is living, and the other ones are their belief systems.
So okay, and are you saying the normal pallet they got dogs on the pallet besides being on the top of the staffs? The jackal,
No,
huh?
No.
But, all right, okay, that was my point.
No.
What else? What else? Where you at?
Okay. So no. So so here they are certainly venerating the bull. The king is the king is the bull, and you can tell that he's the bull because if you go to the other side of it, if you go to the other side of the palette, the opposite side, you're gonna see him in his animal form. Yeah, go down. Okay, so that's so there's so go down to the other side. Go down to the other side. That's one side. There's another side to it, the back side. No, that's still the front side. That's the 4 dogs palette, right? Or the 2 dogs.
Right here.
Yeah. So let me see. Okay. Okay, so it's not, it's not on here where he is. Go to the other one. Go to the front one. Where am I missing something? Right. Go all the way down to the bottom. Go all the way
Right there, the bull, right here. Many.
Yeah. So the king is the bull.
May represent the king as the bull, knocking down the wall of the city.
Yeah, he's the so later in Egyptian culture, he's going to be the Karnak, the strong bull. His name is going to be the strong bull.
With the May.
Later in ancient Egypt.
A mythical animal with entwined necks.
Smarthistory.org.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's the king is being represented as the Karnak. So this is an early represent of the what they call the strong bull, the Karnak.
All right. So right here, here's go the mythical animal with entwined necks, defining the recess for mixing makeup. Just like I said.
Yeah, you're correct about that. It's a palette.
Important motif. I'm gonna put this in the chat for y'all to read.
Right, and scroll back down to where he shows him with the mace hitting the enemy as well, because that's a strong representation of, because Narmer's culture, right, his population group, they were known for a cult of violence as well, right? So these people weren't pushovers at all. And we know that from some of the bodies that are recovered for some of those grave sites in this area, right? There's a high number of those bodies that didn't die of natural causes, right? So they did live a very violent, existence, right? And they kind of this motif sort of reflects that, right?
Okay.
So
I'm gonna share my screen real quick just to so I'm not pseudo, all right?
Right. And one thing as well, just to, and what are some of your thoughts about this idea as well, Reggie? We talked about, and we saw these in some of the sources, that, this whole idea that Narmer came after this epic war, right? He sort of emerged as this triumphant leader, unifying the upper and lower Egypt in this great event, and then basically the land was unified, right? But the archaeological evidence really doesn't show that, right? It really shows it as more of a gradual sort of unification that happened over time, right? So it wasn't something like this singular event where Narmer just emerged as the unifier of the lands, right? It was more nuanced and happened sort of over time, right?
Yeah, because then you got Dejur, Dejet, you got Aha, right? Which actually continues to reign and continues the work of unification. So a war was won, right? A war was won, but that doesn't that it's a fragile, it's a fragile state. So then you have much more influence from the what you call the first dynasty kings. So I just want to share my screen. So I'm not pseudo because okay, so
What you showing us, Reggie?
I'm going to show you the National Library of Medicine, images of the human placenta, capturing the complexity of the human placenta, both structure and function. Figure 1 depicts a pharaoh preceded by attendants in a ceremony procession holding standards. The 4 from the right was interpreted by Murray scholar in Egyptian culture as representing the royal placenta, considered the second soul of the pharaoh or the pharaoh's secret helper. I'll show you another source over here.
Click the source, bro, right there.
This is from Murray's.
No, go back. Click that 2 right there.
Click what?
The 2, yo.
I don't understand.
You do, man. It's a 2 there, bro. Come on, man.
It's a 2? Right
Where it
here.
says danger or an act
Danger or
of
act
conscience.
Right. Placenta in lore and legend, right? By the PMC, right? And then the first one is Murray, The Bundle of Life, Ancient Egypt, 1930. So then we go to Murray's article is over here.
That nigga say 1930.
We go to Murray's article where they first, where they're first describing it. And so this is these are the 2 hawks. This is Set, and this is the placenta. So what I'm saying is from
go ahead, read about the placenta. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is
there. Go.
Okay, so it goes on. Let's see.
Go the other way.
Huh?
The other way.
Right here.
Scroll down.
Yeah. So look, I just want to make sure I'm not.
Yeah, you there. Just keep scrolling down. It's going to start talking about.
Yeah, Fearless Man, Jackal Standard.
Mm-hmm.
And among the sculpture fragments,
it's got to be somewhere in there because that's the.
Yeah, that's where I think it's over here.
All right. Go ahead, read that.
Here to explain human figure, the undescribed standard born in the king, the standard which is preceded by 3 animal standards represented irregular, circular, slightly bilbo object from which depends a streamer, in shape recalling a lens or creep or rope, but obviously not representing cordage as it lacks indication of the strand, which is usually shown in represented ropes upon a pallet. It is carried by the beardless man, while the bearers or bearded. We shall later return to the possible significance of this. Meanwhile, we endeavor. So inside, so it occupies in the said festival. So then later in this article, they will attempt to identify this object right here. But from the source that I already showed from the medical source on images of the Holy Placenta is identified in that article by Murray as the royal placenta. So then we can just go over here. We could just Google royal placenta, ancient Egypt, and we could see there's that article that I already showed, the royal placenta, the pharaoh's placenta. So there's a number of articles that talk about.
Get back down here. Let's go.
So there's also a first identification of an ancient Egyptian mummified human, and there is evidence of a mummified human placenta. And so it's enough information to say that it's understood as the pharaoh's placenta, and that is aligned with African culture of African culture, African people, of making the placenta important in almost all throughout Africa as a preservation, as a kind of a symbol of a person's who a person is, and they bury it under trees. They do a whole bunch of things. So I don't want to stop you from saying, but I do want to give you evidence that it is in fact called by Egyptologists the placenta, the royal placenta. Okay.
Reggie was right.
I just
Placenta.
was so exploded, dude. You can run up here and house a goddamn placenta on a stick and gonna get away with it. Put the damn source. Yeah.
Oh man. Is this why some of these crazy people run around in the community, running behind placentas and stuff like this? Is this ignorance? I've seen some of that.
Yeah. Exactly. But it was funny as hell, right? Bananas. You hit it right on the nose with that. All right, let me see what I got here.
Okay, so let me share the screen. One second. Let me share the screen. So just a little bit more of that article.
Come on, man. I told you. Article for what, Reggie?
No, of the placenta, describing the placenta.
So we heard you.
They continue in this source, and they actually show other sources where inside ancient, what they call ancient Egypt, the placenta. So it's Murray's article is the most sourced article on what this thing is, right? So the sacredness of birth. Can we just say the sacredness of birth? And so Murray's work is probably the best work that's always sourced on this subject. Okay, I'll stop sharing the screen. You got the source. The source is here. By Murray, notes upon an early ancient Egyptian standard, Margaret Murray. Okay. Stop.
Appreciate that, Reggie. Good job on that, bro.
So I'm gonna sign off because I gotta wake up early in the morning do something with my
yeah, we about at the end of it. Yeah, I appreciate that, bro, man. So definitely appreciate that. I want to try to find this.
I survived being and Brendan, inside the chat, I put on Dr. Mario Beatty's YouTube video on Hesse.
Oh, okay.
I put a couple of other sources that it would say Brendan, but that's for everybody. But since you are you're looking into these kind of things, and you can always talk to me. I don't do too much of this kind of work anymore. I'm not really interested anymore. I'm more interested in the origin of writing, how these things actually become, these symbols actually become logograms and phonograms, and they actually lead to writing. The important thing about the normal palette is, believe it or not, these things. This is early Medu Neter. It's not a lot of meta Neter in there. Some words like Chet and Shasha that's there, but a lot of the stuff are really like logograms and logograms, and so we find out what they are later in dynastic Egypt. But the normal palette itself is certainly writing, but it's in its earliest form. So with that said, hey, thanks for letting me come on. Peace to the family. Always a pleasure, Brendan, and everybody else that tuned in. Sign up to Bobby Benga. Continue to watch the Pseudo Killas. While some of the pseudos and some of the Pseudo Killas and the Pseudo Killas find out that they pseudo, we just using skill sets. Shout out always to Smash, Smash is my good brother in all of this, even though, sometimes like I upset. I go
He
outside.
throwing shots. You just want to get shot up. Get shot.
I go outside the boundaries, and so Smash and On always try to say, "What is Brother Reggie saying?"
You want to get shot up.
All right, peace.
So yeah, appreciate you, Reggie. I'm gonna end with this, right? The terrestrial expanse of the Pangrave culture 30 years later. Okay. So if you've been listening to the show, you know what the Pangrave culture is. All right. I ain't gonna get deep because this is touch them up and finish them off right here. The introduction. This article will present some fresh data on the Jebel Mokaram group of the Eastern Sudan. Look that up. All right, I'm giving you pieces to the puzzle. All right, I'm giving you. They don't know their names, but they identify them by their grades. This is essential in understanding that, right? Okay, and this group in the East Sudan, 30 years after Karam, let me see, Sajur's similar work, the terrestrial expanse of the Pangrave culture, pointed out systematically the close relationship between Jebel Mokaram group of the Eastern Sudan and the Pangrave culture of Egypt and Nubia. So there's a Pangrave culture in Egypt. So that dispels that there's only this one type in Egypt. That definitely dispels that. Brendan, you've seen it. I showed you. Seen how vast that was. Am I correct?
Right. Yep.
Right. I ain't ready to show y'all yet. I want y'all to jump out the window. But this is my first inkling that I got y'all. That there are multicultural there are different groups of Africans in Egypt. Some of them groups you will not accept because they're lighter skin. When I say lighter skin, I'm not talking about Mediterranean light skin. I'm talking about light skin in comparison to other Africans close to the damn equator, right? I'm not even talking about like what you would call in South Africa, the Khoisan. The Khoisan would be a little bit lighter than these guys, right? That the ones that people don't like, right? So once again, this is Jebel Mokaram group, Sudan, look that up, and the Pangrave of Egypt and Nubia. So you got a Pangrave culture in Egypt and in Nubia. And I'm telling you now, this Pangrave stretch all the way out, all the way from the hills of Ethiopia, all the way to Egypt. I mean, they swarming, okay? Straight swarm. All right, so that's what it is, man. So I'm gonna end it with that. That's a little more, I think y'all can see that right here, a little more up, so y'all can kind of see that enormous palette, that particular motif right there, and then right underneath of it, that right there, how close related, y'all. One is down in the ass one, all right? All right. It's just something y'all should see. And that don't make the Nubians Egyptians neither. Not at all. Yeah, we study around here. We do what we gotta do, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. You want some closing words?
No, I would.
Brendan, anything you want to add? Say?
No, I would just say that in terms of how the community approaches its discussions about ancient Egypt, I wish that it would be more in line with some of how we discuss it here, as opposed to tying ancient Egypt to the New Age mysticism and stuff that you mentioned earlier, right? I think from a spooky New Age perspective, that's why a lot of people are drawn towards ancient Egypt. And again, right, you see this hodgepodge of New Age spirituality inside of the conscious community. If you really look at it, right, it's just a collection of everything, right? You see a bit of Hermeticism, right? Which is a combination of theosophy, astrology, and alchemy. You mentioned the ascended masters earlier on, right? And some of that stuff with a sprinkle of both Western ceremonial magic and African spirituality thrown in the mix for good measure, right? That's a collection of what we end up seeing, and as well as Indian mysticism, right? Out of all of those things, that's what you end up seeing, a collection of these things coming out of the conscious community, and it's just all over the place, right? And when you add Egypt into that mix, I think it does a disservice, right? I think it needs to be looked at from a scholarly perspective, from an Egyptological perspective, in sort of like the ways that we're doing. We're looking at the culture for what it is, right? From a geopolitical perspective, we're looking at it from a cultural perspective, and not from a spooky mystical side, right? So I would just say this, and I think I enjoyed the show. It was a good sort of change of pace for tonight.
Yeah, that's, man. Shout out to Smash Rockwell's too, man. You ain't late, man. You always in here, man. We definitely shout you out, man. Make sure you support his channel, man. Let me check out the Bobby Banging channel and see if I've reached my goal for the night on that. I'm serious about that. I want to check. Let me refresh it and see if I reach my goal for the night.
Right.
Let's
and
see.
And everybody tune in to Sunday Night at the Movies. We got another good Sunday Night at the Movies coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna dig a little bit into these population groups that formed pre-dynastic Egypt, right? So we've got some good videos teed up for that, right?
Yep. See, got 114. That's great. All right, wasn't over the 100 mark, and I'm there. 114 subscribers here. I go appreciate that. I'm gonna try to get 4, 5, 10 subscribers every time I go live, man. I need to reach the magic number of 250 before I start putting content on the channel. All right, the Bobby Banging Show is gonna be powerful. Trust me when I tell you that, man. This is a picture of, I believe, Lexington Terrace projects before they tore them down. Either Lexington Terrace or Murphy Homes. Damn, I think it's Murphy Homes. No, maybe Murphy Homes. They had the gates, the high rises. Picture that right there. All right. But yeah, man, appreciate Smash, man. Yo, definitely appreciate your work and your support, brother. Some friends just staying true through the ups and downs, and some friends just scurry off when they're afraid, right?
Shout out to Smash. We were listening to that freestyle. We was listening to that Smash freestyle earlier today, right?
Yeah, that was hard. Somebody tried to act like it wasn't hard. We was like, yo, go listen to that. They had to change their pitch. It was hard. I let my nephew listen to it. He was like, man,
the beat was called Thorough or something. Yeah, it was tight. It was nice.
Yeah. My young nephew, he's 24, right? He spits, right? I like, yo, listen to this show. He's like, damn, who is that? I said, one day you might get a chance to meet him. One day. But I ain't gonna let you meet him until I know you did this service. I said, because the brother's a professional. Absolutely. Right? And you just ain't coming at a professional like that. This ain't the, yo, go hook the homie up. No, that's not it. Nope. You had to earn, had to do something. Yeah, ain't nothing free around here. Right? But yeah, man, appreciate everybody coming through. Appreciate the fake news. North Africans, because they try their best to deny the multicultural experience of Egypt. They play the game of separating themselves from the rest of Africa. It's complete buffoonery. Complete. African is not African. There's no one way to be African, whether there's the big nose and the thin lips, or the big lips and the thin nose, or the big lips and the big nose, or the peppercorn hair, or the curly hair, or the straight hair, or the brown skin, light skin, blue eyes. It's all in the game. Don't let them fake you out. Egypt is a homegrown indigenous African civilization, no matter what they say. Look, Brendan, man, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody that came through. Mr. Metro, Pep, yeah, man, Smash said he black. He told you he black. Yeah, you're black. Yeah, you got it. You're black, yep. Yeah, you definitely black. Nigga, I gave the community pseudo. Nigga, I ain't never gonna be pseudo. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be wrong. Shout out to Chaz, Nordic. Yeah, y'all should hit that link and took this beating though. That would have been nice. No. Sabik. Who else we got in here? Rebel, The Sounds. Yo, appreciate y'all coming through. Indigenous Black Man. Sharp Spears. Band. Man, I appreciate everybody coming in, man, and coming through. Yeah, make sure we be here Sunday. I don't know what they're gonna do tomorrow, man. Yo, Brendan, I appreciate you coming through, man. We had some good discussions. I will be reading those pages you told me to read on the second element. What's the name of the second element?
That was the first one. That was Egypt in its African context.
I thought the first one was
the second one is ethnic identities in the land of the pharaohs. Right.
Made that up. You sure? Hey, you sure? All right. I'm gonna take your word for it. Man, appreciate you, man. If y'all can, man, get ethnic identities in the land of the pharaoh. Yo, niggas be talking all that DNA shit, get beat up in that. Yeah, they do. Yeah, trying to equate the two. No. Yeah, with that, man, we definitely out.